Good day, everybody, and welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 230 are open. This week on the show, we've got a very special guest. He's the host of the NintenVania podcast that is also from South Australia. I believe this is his first time on the main show, but we've done plenty of episodes with him. Josh, welcome to the show, my friend.
Drew, how you going? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Thank
you.
It
is the first one on the actual proper show.
Yeah, I thought that. We've done a few episodes before. We've talked about Reggie's book, where we do a podcast on our Patreons called Heaps Good. We're doing a few things together. Really enjoying it. We did the Stray review as well.
We're collaborating, Drew. We're content creators doing our thing. So but there's no replacement for the original House of Mario. So thanks for having me on. Is that my cat in the background?
Oh, yes, it is. It's about to rip a plant over.
Please excuse me just for a second.
Yeah, no, you better deal with that. So, looking at Josh's camera here, his cat is literally going to make a big mess of his shelf. So he's getting it. And usually when Josh and I do a podcast together, the cat is going all over his keyboard. It's doing the typical stuff you would normally see a cat do. And during our Stray review, that game's all based about a cat. It was very present in that episode, so that was fun to do, but maybe not a great idea if it's pulling over Josh's shelf. Looks like it's got lots of CDs.
Sorry.
Is it CDs and stuff on that shelf you got over there, or?
That's Mickey's bookcase, and so
that's books, right.
DVDs, Blu-rays, a few like manga kind of things, and then plants, because we thought, let's elevate the plants half a meter so the cat can't get to them, because they're probably poisonous, because most plants are.
Yeah.
But our cat's just been horrid this week. Literally horrid, just trying to knock everything over. I've had Amiibo fall over. I've had my Doctor Who DVDs fall down. The cat just is crazy. Honestly, it's driving me bonkers. So she's locked in the laundry now for the next 90 to 2 hours. 90 minutes to 2 hours. Yep.
Well, that's the thing. Well, you've been playing Stray on the TV. You've been like exploring the world, checking out what's going on. And then the cat's like, I'm going to try that. It looks like a lot of fun. Josh has the controller. The fun's on the sticks. He's obviously allowed to do this, so I'll do it in his home too.
Honestly, I'm just being the most evil cat in that game. And so the cat's just like, it's like free reign. Well, it's all right. It must mean I can do it too.
Yeah. My cat's... I don't know where my cat is at the moment. It doesn't really come in this room much. If it comes in this room, usually it means like, you know what, my bowl's been empty for at least 24 hours, Drew boy. It's time to fill it up, like pronto. That's what happens when it comes in this room. But apart from that, it's pretty safe.
Pretty good. I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah, we got so many plants in this house as well. Chantel's all about her plants. And I'm like, oh, look, we got a whole corner just dedicated to this monstrosity of a plant. Like, we could put a shelf there. We could have put a bean bag. We could just put nothing. That'd be nice as well. But we've got a big plant. But the cat, he doesn't.
Don't like plants, Drew, do you? Is that?
I don't mind plants, but you should see this thing. It takes up like half the lounge room.
Okay.
Like we could put a second TV there. I don't know. We could put anything there. I don't know about the plant. But it keeps her happy, so that's the main thing. Happy wife, happy life.
That's all right.
It's definitely a true sentiment. So yeah, it's good that you're going well, Josh. Like your cat in the laundry, what's it going to do in the laundry for the next? Like, it's going to start meowing and scratching and pooing and pissing and.
Well, it can poop and pee in there because the litter's in there. That's good. It's got a little bit of climbing. We've got like a washing machine and a dryer, and then like a little window there. So the cat will find something to keep it entertained. But yes, eventually you might hear some scratching and some meowing. But she's been bad tonight, so she deserves it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Animal control, don't get mad at me. RSPCA, don't call. She's fine. She likes it in there mostly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess a little bit of housekeeping. We've got some episodes going up for Encore at the House of Mario on the second feed. Go and check it out. Got some episodes going up this week. I don't know what I want to title them, so it is what it is. We've also got some...
Great plug. Check it out, guys.
Look, I'm fucking awful at plugging my stuff, Josh. It just is what it is. And we've got some episodes of Crack and Furfies going up as well. Just search Crack and Furfies on your podcast service. It's very much me after dark as far as podcasting goes. We just sort of don't have any limits on that show. Just talk about whatever we want. Some stuff is very crude, but some people have been messaging me from like listeners of this show, been like, "Hey, I really enjoy that show. It's just really funny." I'm like, "Well, thanks."
That's good. It's you're a bit of a larrikin on that show, Drew.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
All the lads are. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
get around it, guys. Everyone else, listen in.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Bryce, he's not on this show. I believe his family's come down with COVID. I think they're doing okay. Every now and again,
Sorry to hear.
I've been sending him a message, being like, "Hey, how you going?" He's like, "Not very good, mate." I'm like, "Oh, well, shit." A lot of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 he's been playing though. He put up a post on Twitter. He's about 50 hours in. So,
I just saw that. Yeah, that's he's been talking to someone else in my Discord, and they're just talking about things, and they seem to be so deep into the game already. So
yeah.
it is. I can attest to Xenoblade playing it sick. It's the perfect game to play while sick. So 50 hours in just over a week and a bit. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, really it's really impressive. Yeah. Because like last week, I was really pushing when I was playing through Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. I got like 25 hours in the week. I'm like, I was pretty impressed with that. Well, that's pretty good.
That's decent.
You know, pretty much
Full-time
5 hours.
work.
Yeah, like 5 hours a night type of thing. Like, I was pushing it.
Dad duties, work duties. That's good timing to find gaming there as well. Yeah.
Maybe I could have doubled it if I got sick too.
Honestly, you could have. Yeah.
I got to go and lick more light posts or something.
Well,
see if I can catch something.
Go to Bryce right now, Drew. Just ask him to cough in your face.
Yeah, maybe not that one.
Not the COVID.
I'll wait till he's got over that to embrace his sweet hugs.
Oh, you care about the people you love. That's the that's true. You don't want to get them sick. But,
yeah, that's the issue. Hold me back from embracing it. Yeah. Well, I avoided my parents for a week to not catch it. Well, over a week, so I'm not going to embrace Bryce. But yeah, I guess with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, man, you've been playing it a bit too. You had to wait for your special edition copy to come in without the special edition contents, which is always a funny situation with everybody that ordered that edition.
Yeah. The most, the most diehard fans, I would call them. I wouldn't call myself the most diehard, but I was very excited for it. But I know they don't promise it will arrive on the day, and so I fully expected it to come later. It was... I just got to Saturday, the day after release, and I'd finished 2, and I was just ready to jump into the next thing, and then I just couldn't quite, So I had to make do for a couple of days. So, but I got there eventually. It was Tuesday. It arrived, and that is a very good game, Drew. If I can not convince you to play 2 like I did a few months ago, I'm going to try and convince you to play 3, because I think I
will one day. That's for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's so like. I think I heard Bryce the other week say would definitely recommend playing them in order, or you'll miss a few things with 3. But 3 is just the most approachable, approachable way to introduce you to the game in terms of the mechanics. And some people might call it a bit handholdy with the tutorials, but compared to 2's just text, it's I feel like I understand the game a lot earlier than I did with 2. The story is just great. It's reminding me of 1 in a lot of ways, and I think you played a bit of 1, haven't you?
Yeah. About 10 hours into 1, not too much, but yeah,
enough to get the gist of what it's about, and you get those early vibes that this isn't a typical Nintendo game. It's something pretty special that Nintendo get to do by giving Monolith Soft the opportunity to make it. So, very keen and excited to keep going with it, and not rush. I'm keen to play this game and not have to rush to finish it by a certain point. Like
100%. Yeah. And it seems to have come out at a pretty good time. Like August is pretty quiet for Switch releases. For me, it's not really that quiet because there's heaps of indie games coming out that I'm really interested in. For me, like Cult of Lamb and Blossom Tales 2, I'm like, I cannot wait for those games. So I'm sort of, I'm basically making business decisions. I'm like, well, I could just jump into Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but, I finished up Fire Emblem. I've just started Live Alive, which I played one of the scenarios, and it actually really kind of surprised me. I played the modern day scenario when you play as like a fighter. It took me like half an hour to beat it, and all it was is going like fighting probably 6 people, and the story ended. I'm like, oh,
that was it, half an hour.
Yeah. I expected like a 2-hour sort of story from each one, but
that's what I would have thought.
It's really no, it's just really short. I'm like, oh well, don't know. Sort of first story left me wanting a lot more. But talking to a few people, it sounds like some of the other stories are a lot more in depth and more entertaining. Oh, well, that's good. Hopefully, this modern day fighter bloke gets a bit more when all the characters eventually meet up or whatever. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
So just started playing Live Alive, and with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, that game really surprised me. Last time we talked about it on the podcast, it was about 10 hours in, and it ended up taking about 32 hours to beat. And it really did surprise me just with, like, once I got through all the tutorial and all that, like, it just kept on feeding you, like, more and more. I'm like, all right. Like, when it's like 9 o'clock, I'm like, I want to start getting through this game. I'm like, oh, just stop teaching me things. Let me hack some more stuff. But
Let me smash some stuff.
pretty much, that's kind of what you want to do in the Warriors game, is just go and dominate the battlefield.
Yeah.
And once you sort of got used to all of that, you knew all the mechanics for all the facilities, the battles, the leveling up your characters, the relationships. Like, there's sort of a lot going on. But once you get that, like, it was a lot of fun. I found the gameplay mechanic really good and the story dragging me through. And definitely want to go back to Three Houses, because that's a title that I sort of dropped off. I've dropped off a lot of the Fire Emblem games. So, like, this game, I was like, I'm not dropping off. I'm going to get through it. So I was pretty determined. I'm glad I did. I think it's probably it's hard because I'm such a massive Pokemon fan. I loved Legends Arceus, but I am wavering between that and this game as, like, my favorite Switch game this year, and that surprises me because
Wow.
I've never been a Warriors fan. Even
Yeah.
Zelda with Hyrule Warriors, I was like, a little bit boring. Like, just whatever. But with this way.
I suppose this got a bit more of the mechanics of Fire Emblem, doesn't it? And it's not just the hack and slash. So I suppose is that the thing you're finding more appealing?
Yeah, definitely. It just feels like a Fire Emblem game, but when you get into a battle, you're running around with Warriors combat. And it's definitely an advantage Koei Tecmo has, because they were, like, the lead development team behind Three Houses, and they were obviously the home of the Warriors series. So it's like a perfect match, basically. They're taking a series they're very, very familiar with and blending it together. I never played Persona Strikers, so I can't talk about that. I think that was a pretty good adaptation of Persona, but I would say this is definitely, it's made me interested in going back to the first Fire Emblem Warriors and the other Warriors games, and maybe at some times where I'm not in the mood for, like, a really in-depth sort of learning experience, like for example, like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 would be for me, where it's like, oh my god, I'm going back to school pretty much to play this game. And it's 9 o'clock at night, and it's bedtime in an hour. I think I do want to go back and play some of the older games, and just put some podcasts on, hack some stuff up, and do that. I think that's going to be great. So
Yeah, late night gaming. You're right. You don't want to think. You just want to play, go through the motion, just something to unwind, don't you, before bed. So the Warriors games would be perfect.
yeah,
But Fire Emblem has especially Three Houses has its divergent paths, and then Three Hopes here has different paths as well. They're all weird and different, but yours is the most weirdest, Drew, playing this game before Three Houses. And so
yeah, I know,
I'd be
it's really weird.
very interested to get your thoughts after playing, I'm going to say, the proper Fire Emblem Three Houses game, because that's obviously Three Hopes is based on it. And just the surprises, I suppose, you're going to get into, because what I hear, Byleth is very different in Three Hopes to Three Houses. So
like, it's on the front cover. Byleth is like the antagonist.
Yes.
And it's interesting too, because, like, if you want a game that will last you for a very long time, like, the game takes about 35 hours to finish, and that's one path. There's 3 paths you can take. Obviously, from, like, if you played Three Houses, you can pick one of the captains, and then you can go along their storylines. But also, each path, there's a different choice you can make. So there's basically 6 paths you can go through. So what I've done is I looked at the chapters, and I saw that there was a path that sort of diverges off. I'm like, okay, so I made a second save, so I can go back and do that other path. But I thought I'll just do however my story turns out. Like, I wasn't going to, like it's not like a PlayStation game where you're like, oh, I've got to get all the achievements, so I've got to make sure I do this and that. Yep. It's very nice just to be like, well, the story ends up how I want it to end up, and I made the choice just about that. Well, this person who makes the story very different, without spoilers, they're going down. I'm sick of them. I want them out the story. Whereas, you can do something very different, and the story actually, I think it goes a couple of chapters longer if you go the other path, actually. because
Yep.
there's a bit more story involving that person still. But no, they're gone. They died in my game. Good.
See you later. Sign. All right.
Yeah. So now I think a lot of people sort of skip this game because, it's got Warriors, and we've seen Fire Emblem Warriors in 2017, and it's a pretty mediocre title, to be honest. Like, I played a bit of it and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it didn't really excite anyone too much. It's a Warriors game, but it utilized the weapon triangle, which is cool. But it's like, oh, he's got a lance, I'll destroy him with this. It's all good. But that was about it. But this one, it's a lot more in depth, just with everything that's going outside the battle. It's got everything from 3 houses that you really enjoy with the, you go on expeditions in this game instead of tea parties. So like you go for like a horse ride out, and I took Edelgard out for a bit of a trip, and I'm like, I clicked the observe. I put this on Twitter. I clicked the observe button, and she goes, "Are you looking for a crack in my armor where a sword might slip through?" I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was actually. How did you know? Sword in quotations. Am I right, boys?
That's right. Euphemism at its finest.
Yeah, no, I'm like, that is on the nose.
Yes.
Nintendo and Intelligent Systems and Koei Tecmo, very on the nose. I like it very much.
They know their target market. They know what they're doing. It's totally and 100% deliberate, isn't it?
Yeah. Because they introduced a brand new character, which wasn't in 3 houses, which is Shez, the character you play as. And you can choose between male and female, like he came with Byleth. And I picked the male because, some of the ladies in there, they, might want to be, might want to get a bit of Shez up in there, you know what I'm saying? So I picked the male character. Because a lot of the times I actually do like playing as the female. I like playing as the female Byleth, for example, whether it's in... Even in Smash Bros, I always make sure I pick the female one because
the female? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the one I like more.
Her outfit's really cool. I like both. And I'm gonna point this out now. I hate that there was no female Byleth amiibo. They had the male.
Yeah,
amiibo.
I would have bought that.
They never did the female one, so that always annoyed me. They've got Steve and Alex in Minecraft coming up, but no female Byleth, and they just did a wishy-washy. Oh, sorry, we couldn't do it. Like, well, you probably could have, but you just didn't try hard enough.
Because some of the other Fire Emblem characters where you can pick between male, female, what was the go with what? I forgot I never played the second Fire Emblem, like the mainline Fire Emblem game on 3DS. I'm forgetting what it was called.
Birthright?
Yeah, that one. So
there's Awakening, Birthright, and then another one. These ones I haven't played, which they're on my list. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a protagonist where you could pick between male and female. I can't remember if they released a female version of that amiibo. Maybe they didn't. But it was like there's
a Robin, the character Robin. Is that the one you mean?
I didn't, but yeah, I guess that one could count as well. Was there a female Robin amiibo?
I'm trying to Google, like I know, but I don't.
Yeah, we got. You could be my guest and my Jamie, my producer, trying to look up this stuff
at the same time.
Doesn't matter anyway, but
all these sword characters in this Smash Bros game, jeez, too many.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with a good sword fighter. I don't know. Everyone's complaining about sword fighter. What do you want? Do you want more? You want a bloke with a fist? Do you want a bloke with a gun?
It's a fighting game. Yeah, that's right. I got excited when Byleth got announced to Smash Bros as well. I was very excited, and then everyone else.
Yeah, me too.
Most people. I'm not gonna group everyone saying everyone. Most people complained, I felt, when Byleth got announced.
Because I remember watching that live stream and everybody was like, oh, is it going to be Crash Bandicoot? Everybody was just looking for like a spectacle. Like a lot of people that don't actually play Smash Brothers or aren't that invested in the game, they were just looking for a spectacle. And when it was just another Fire Emblem character, everyone's like poo-pooing it. But it's like, it was the main Fire Emblem game on Switch. And I think that protagonist has a very important role to play in the whole Switch ecosystem, and it should be in Smash Brothers.
And for sure.
And not only that, it was such a fun character to play as. It's one of my favorite characters, and definitely probably my favorite DLC character. How they like used all the weapons, and you could like each sort of direction and sort of utilize a different weapon, and it all sort of made sense. And you had like could be really fast with like up B, or real slow with like the big. I've got the name of the weapon now, but it's like a real slow like smash, the down B. I thought that was a lot of fun to play as. So Yeah.
It was cool. Different, yeah, like you said, different weapons, and so um, some of the DLC characters and their special moves were great. I just, yeah, you just the amount of time and effort that goes into thinking about the move sets in Smash Bros is unreal. And as someone who doesn't really play the games properly, I sort of just, I'll play them briefly to appreciate the characters and see the move sets, and um, yeah, it's just really really cool and special what it came out to be really in the end, isn't it? Ultimate.
Yeah. Because like with the characters, sometimes you expect like, oh look, they'll just do this, they'll kick and they punch, but when they, especially the DLC characters, like a lot of them had like their own special gauges and special mechanic to make them super unique. Like Sakura on the team, they always went like way out of their way to bring some of these characters to life, and I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Corrin was the character.
Corrin, of course.
Sorry. Everyone's going to hate us. Sorry. Send the hate mail towards me.
Look, it is what it is. Like, it just is what it is.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'll never claim to be a Fire Emblem expert. I want to sort of get through the games. It is more of a series I've got to force myself to play. Honestly, it's not something I gravitate towards like Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, or anything like that. But it's the characters and the whole atmosphere. Just I love it so much. I just need to sort of fall in love with its like gameplay mechanics, I think. So
yeah, and that they differ a little each game, don't they? And so
yeah,
I suppose there's no guarantee whether you're gonna fully like it. I suppose, but yeah, no, it's the 3DS ones I need to get into. It's they're on my list there to pick up because three houses is unreal. It's really enjoyed it. So I've heard great things about Awakening, so I think that might be the next one.
What route did you go down for Three Houses?
The Blue Lions with Dimitri, which is the correct choice to make. I will continue to state this because Mickey did not choose the Blue Lions at first and regretted it later on, and so I always bring it up with her. But
see, I did choose the Blue Lions.
I knew you would, Drew. You're just a good man. I never doubted you. You would have always picked the Blue Lions.
And but in Warriors, I chose the Black Eagles, and I feel like if I go back to Three Houses, I'll play the Black Eagles just to, see the real side of the story, I guess.
Yeah,
If I like it enough, I'll go back and play with Dimitri because I really like Dimitri. He has an awesome voice. Like the voice actor kind of nailed it. He has such a soothing voice, and I think the whole game is fantastically voice acted, but his voice especially with like the music playing in the background. It's like, oh god, it hits me hard, man. And like
deep and smooth, isn't it? It's like a James L. Jones esque kind of voice. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to best describe it, but I'm with you. He's very dreamy.
Yeah, the eye patch. Oh, Dimitri. Yeah, so yeah, I think if anybody's in my position where they're not like a massive Fire Emblem fan or they're not into Warriors, I think this game is really special, guys. I know it's been out for over a month now, but I think it's definitely worth picking up and it's worth checking out if any of those things interest you. But I sort of did catch you off a bit earlier, Josh, talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Sorry, but
that's all right.
How many hours into that are you, and how are you finding it?
I'm just finished the first chapter, so I'm partway through the second one. I reckon 7 a bit hours now. I've just cracked, so I'd still say I'm pretty early in. This is going to be a long slog for me to sort of play through, but just everything about it's just been really refreshing, and so I suppose I've come from 2 feeling a little, I don't know, maybe butthurt. I enjoyed it well enough. I don't know. I didn't create the best scenario for me to play it in terms of forcing myself to finish the game before 3 came out, and so did feel rushed at times. But I did have that week of having the flu to get through it, and that definitely helped. But I just definitely feel like they took on the feedback from 2 and applied it to 3 with those changes, and it's just a really, really polished JRPG, and just everything about it's been really fun to play through and understand. It's even before I really had to force myself to finish too quickly, I was finding in that I wasn't having as much sort of motivation to explore, to find the different secret areas, and to definitely understand everything there was in the game. It felt like a chore going to the shops and buying the things, and trying to work out why I need this thing to make my stats overall better. But with this game, I'm very much like, it's like I naturally want to do it. I want to sort of explore. I want to play around with these things, and um, yeah, although the base sort of combat's mostly the same, there's a bit of variety there now. Again, with you can change your classes between characters, and so the main characters, Noah. They've talked about this before, so it's not really a spoiler. So like Noah, Mio, Lance, they're not just all attackers, healers, and defenders respectively. They can change to become a healer or attacker or defender, and sort of level up stats wise that way. And it's a bit like Three Houses in terms of that secondary stuff you can level up and get good in different sort of areas. And so
I found that stuff really fun, actually, like, because Warriors does it as well. And I found, like, when I towards the end of the game, I found it a lot of fun. Just like, oh, look, you've fully maxed out that one. I'll go to a different class and max out this as well, because why not? And I find that like a lot of fun. Do you find yourself in Xenoblade just like swapping around classes and experimenting much with each character, or?
Yeah, it's only just happened in the last hour of gameplay for me, so I've just come across it. It's cool, and so again, it's the Xenoblade twist. Is like, there's like, it seems simple what I've just said, but there's a lot of
course,
underlying arts that you can change from it, and you can do fusion attacks now, and there's a whole bunch of different things I'll have to try and get my head around to work out what's good. And there's compatibility. Certain characters are going to be better at certain sort of actions, and so it's going to be a lot of trial and error, and I really don't mind. So I think for 2, if they introduced this to me and just did a text-based explanation, I mean, I probably would have had to watch a YouTube video for someone to help me understand it a bit more. Whereas with this, I haven't really needed to do that yet. So it's good. So having a great time, no time pressure. So I don't feel like I need to finish this by a certain time now. So I'm probably going to play 100+ hours of this game and just enjoy every minute of it, I reckon.
Yeah, that's the way to play it. And I know for me that, like, I just know I'll probably start playing it this month, and like the next few months are looking pretty busy as far as especially game releases go. So I know I'd fall off of it if I started playing it now, and I don't feel like I'm really in the mood for it either. I've got other things I probably honestly prefer to play, but it like, for me, it honestly feels weird, because usually I'm all over like Nintendo releases. It feels really weird being like, all right, I'll let this one go. Like, this is one of Bryce's favorite franchises, so he'll handle it as far as discussing it on the show or whatever.
Got a bit of coverage there.
Yeah, but as far as like just being a gamer, it's really strange for me being like, oh, there's a Nintendo game coming out, I haven't bought it. It's really weird. It honestly just feels really strange, because even like at a direct, I'm like, I'm going to be playing Advance Wars and Fire Emblem, Strikers, every single game that comes out except for this. I'm like, I'll let it go, because sometimes, honestly, sometimes when I'm like, I'm at work and I'm thinking about what the games coming up I want to play are, some games in the backlog, some like classic games I'd love to play. You start thinking about it. It sort of creates a little bit of anxiety. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, my gaming hobby shouldn't be even close to creating anxiety. So
shouldn't feel like a job, should it?
No, definitely not. And it's not a job. So it's just you got to know your limits, because if you want to play like all these JRPGs, all right, maybe step off it a little bit. I've made my choice. I want to play Live Alive and Digimon Survive, and get back to Italia, and a few indie games. There's a lot of indie games coming out in August. It seems to be really busy, even Splatoon, and got to make some business decisions.
You've got no chance. You've got no time. You've done the cost-benefit analysis, and it is not worth it. So I'm with you. Don't spread yourself too thin, and play little bits of everything and forget what's happening. And you jump into a game after playing 3 other different games, and you forget the controls. It's just recipe for disaster. So no, good call.
Because like I've got a few smaller games on the go too. I heard that you're playing Bayonetta, and I'm doing the same thing too. I'm like, I'll chip through these games. They're about 10-hour games. And so I bought Bayonetta 1 on Switch because my whole idea was I bought the double pack back in the day for Wii U. Came with Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2, and I jumped straight into Bayonetta 2 on Wii U. Played it for probably like 5 hours or something.
Oh, straight to
But
2. Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know. It's one of those things where you just want to get straight into the new hotness, whether it's story related or not.
Of course. Yeah, it came out new. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
I've gone back to Bayonetta 1 now, but I'm like, I'll go back to Wii U and play it. And I've said that for a few games that I wanted to get back and play on Wii U, and it's just I've got my Wii U hooked up. It never got unhooked up. It's under my TV right now, but I'm not going to play it on Wii U. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to fire it up on Wii U. So I just spent the money and I bought it again.
You got to charge the gamepad at first because I won't play it for like months, and the gamepad's always flat. And so first I got to find the charger, and then I got to turn it on. And
no, like my Wii U is so hooked up. It's got the Wii U gamepad dock set up, so it's at the point where that's not even an issue. It's charged. It's ready to go. It's probably a little bit dusty, honestly. You haven't picked it up in a little while, but so I just decided to just bit the bullet, bought it on Switch, and I put it down to easy. And there's actually an item in the game. I don't know if you're using this item if you're playing on easy as well, but it's basically the item's basically like a puppet, and it makes it so you can just press any combination and it does combos for you. So it just puts it on easy mode. Yeah. I turn that item off, but it's still on easy. But
is the item name a spoiler, or you just
no? I can't remember.
A puppet thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's like a marionette or something. Like the whole idea is that like someone else is controlling it for you, pretty much. Like
you're the puppet
on strings.
Yeah.
And so I want to learn. I want to play the game properly. I don't want to get to like the third game and have like no idea of like what the combos are and all that. I want to have a bit of an idea, but at the same time, I just want to get through and play the story. So when Bayonetta 3 comes out, that's when I can put it to normal and play it, I guess, quote unquote properly. There's no sort of real way to play games, especially being a dad these days. I put it down to very easy whenever I can.
No shame in that. No,
definitely not. But I'm enjoying it so far. I do sort of know the outline of the story because I watched, I watched it on Watch Mojo of all places, and they actually did a pretty good job of rounding up the story of 1 and 2 together. And because I knew the story was a bit convoluted, and playing through the first couple of hours, you're like, okay, I don't really know what's going on. Let's find out. So I've got a bit of a guide in my head as I'm going along these games, so I can get all the nuance in that, but I know where the story's going. And it's actually really interesting how they play with like time travel and like different characters and different meanings as you go forward. I'm like, that's actually really interesting. So it's made me more keen to play push on through the game. So I'm glad that I did actually get those spoilers because, it's a 10-minute video for 20 hours of gameplay. So it's not like, it's not going to spoil too much. You do get
hyped you up for it.
Yeah. The twists aren't going to be like, but I think it's kind of made me go, all right, I need to experience this story a little bit more. Where usually I want to stay away from spoilers, but I've had, how many years have I had to play this game? Like 15 years. When Bayonetta 1 came out, like
2009. It's 13 years it's been. Yeah.
So had plenty of time. So
Watch Mojo would have made that video probably around that time as well.
It might have been like not long after the Wii U release, actually. Yeah. So thanks to Watch Mojo.
Watch Mojo still kicking it. That's awesome.
Watch Mojo, they get a bit of a bad rap. Like, they got a sort of a generic sounding narrator, but apart from that, it's
serviceable.
They did their job.
Yeah,
they gave it to me in 10 minutes. Yeah. I can do a spoiler cast just with that very basic outline. I can't do any nuance whatsoever. No. How are you finding the game so far? Like, obviously, you probably have you dropped it now that Xenoblade's taken over your life?
It's been a week since, ever since, because it was between 2 and 3, Xenoblade 2 and 3, so that I needed something to play, and it's just like with Xenoblade 3, I wanted to finish 2 before that. Just like with the Bayonetta 3 now, I want to finish the first 2 games, and definitely more achievable, noting the time length, and it's not going to be as time heavy compared to 2, Xenoblade 2. So yeah, I gave that a go, and I was very pleasantly surprised by how fun it was. I'm only 2 hours or so in, and just the swearing and the larrikinism of this penguin character, can't remember his name, and Bayonetta, and just the whole cast is just very very funny, and they're just, it's not taking itself seriously, and so I can see how you're probably liking it. It's probably similar to a Warriors game in terms of hack and slash kind of mechanics.
Kind of is actually, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's what it's reminding me of. And yeah, just like Xenoblade was something I felt different for Nintendo. Bayonetta, obviously wasn't originally on Nintendo hardware, and it feels like a very un-Nintendo game. And so, for Nintendo to pick it up from the second one, to take the publishing costs and to publish it with the Sega's and Platinum's help is really cool. So I'm enjoying this. I've heard 2's better again, so I'm excited for 3 because I think that looks amazing as well. So enjoying picking up these different little games now, and just enjoying what the Switch has to offer at the moment. And having all 3 on the Switch is great. It's really good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I wanted to like pick up a physical copy a while back, but yeah, just could not find them. Like they must have went out of print real quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like on the PS3 or
no, on Switch.
On the Switch.
I think I saw it for like $62. I'm like, oh, that's a good price, like for 2 games.
So Bayonetta 2 with the first Bayonetta download code. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got mine from an EB Games. A few months ago. It was secondhand.
And right.
It had the disc. They had the code in the sleeve still, unused.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, very lucky.
It got so I opened it up. I'm like, yeah, shit, here it is. And so it was like $58 or something. So I was pretty happy with that. So,
I wonder if that would have added any value whatsoever to their trade-in. Like if they said, hey, look, it's still got the code. Like it's still like
I reckon
pretty
they
much
had
a new
no
product.
idea. Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, probably not.
Because it was just in the case, out in the open. They removed the game cards from the cases, don't they? But they just didn't remove the discount code. It was just a piece of paper. So
yeah, that's always
good find.
Bit dodgy, isn't it? I remember
I could have just taken the code, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Bayonetta 1 for free.
No, you're a good person, Josh. You
Oh,
wouldn't
that's
do
right.
that.
I wanted 2 as well. So yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, like, you can't expect that with a secondhand copy. So you're not exactly being a bastard to the person that buys it. Like if it was a new copy and someone's like, well, I kind of expect the value I paid includes this download code, but yeah. Did you get the Wii U version?
No.
Whatnot?
No. So I had a Wii U. I was pretty late. Well, when Mario Kart 8 came out, I jumped onto the Wii U. So no, Bayonetta just wouldn't have been one of those things that interested me back in the day. So but I heard so many things about it, and so it's not until recently, with 3 coming up, that I'm like, yeah, I've got to give it a go. I've heard so many good things, and so they pushed it hard, didn't they? The second one on the Wii U. It's like one of their unique titles, and a bit more adult. It's swearing and
they pushed it
sexual
hard
innuendo and all that.
It was getting like 10 out of 10s across the board. So I was like, look, please, come and buy a Wii U.
Buy a Wii U, and it's not just a kids console. You can have some adult fun on this as well.
Yeah, because I imagine on Wii U it would have sold like nothing, which is unfortunate. I hope it sold a little bit better on a Switch, but I'm interested to see what the 3 does as well, as far as like sales on Switch. Like, will it be better? Will it be like 100? Oh, not 100 million, just 1 million plus? Like that'd be great for Platinum as far as this series goes. And this is like Platinum's bread and butter. Platinum do a lot of they've been doing a lot of contract stuff, like, which has been pretty ordinary, sort of starting with the Avatar game, like the Korra game, then like Ninja Turtles and Transformers. Been doing that, and it's been pretty hit and miss, like pretty largely as far as that stuff goes. But Bayonetta is like, that is their game, obviously owned by Sega, but it's like it's their game. So they're going to make sure it's as good as it can possibly be. So I hope it's great. I'm looking forward to it anyway.
It's been 5 years of anticipation, hasn't it? It's ever since it got announced at the Game Awards, I think, in 2017.
Yeah, it's good for Nintendo to offload some vaporware. It's good. Just
yeah. So it's been a long time. There's been a lot of hype for it as well. So I think that longer wait has meant people have been very eagerly anticipating the release, and so yeah, I hope it stacks up. I think I have every confidence it will.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
It'll sell a couple of million. I feel it'll be the best selling entry easily, surely.
Because Astral Chain it sold over 1 million, so yeah, you reckon Bayonetta should be able to as well?
Yeah, I reckon similar. Yeah, Astral Chain, that was another good one by Platinum. That was fun. You played that one?
Yeah. I didn't finish it. It's in my backlog, but I did play it.
I think I'm nearly. Yeah, I didn't quite finish it either, but I'm close. Yeah,
no, I love that style. Like it just ooze style, and it made the Switch look pretty good. Like they got a lot of horsepower out of the Switch as far as like how it looks and runs and everything. Yeah,
it looked unreal. It was just a shame because that was at the back end of 2019 when there were so many like good Nintendo things that got released that back half. And I reckon it was Luigi's Mansion 3 that got me off it, and then I just as you do, more games come and time goes by and you forget to go back to it.
Luigi's Mansion 3 and Pokemon kind of that's what put a stop to it for me.
2 weeks after, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Have you been playing anything else much?
I took a little break from Xenoblade 3 for the last 2 days because I wanted to get to a decent point before I recorded my episode with Oliver on my show. And we talked about Tetris 99. I got sad because he wins. He's won a few times, and I confess I've never won. And so I just thought, well, I'm the only one who can change anything about that. And so I decided I need to play a lot more Tetris 99. So that's all I've been doing the last 2 days. And so I've been very rusty, but I got a couple of third places today. I felt close. I reckon it was 3 seconds later. The second person had died, and so I was close. I could have. I don't know how the first person who won. It was Japanese name. They had the most epic looking gold logo eagle thing. I don't know what it was, but you can get icons for doing really weird, crazy shit in this game. And this person, I think, must have been. One of these people who just plays it nonstop. And so, as someone who only got into Tetris through Tetris 99, it's such a fun game. I can't play any other Tetris. It's slow and boring. Tetris 99's got this sort of.
Oh really? No, it's ruined you.
It's fast. It's you get the adrenaline when you're really going. When people are attacking you, like there's 10 people on you, and you just keep clearing the lines. The hero. 4 length blocks, just you keep dropping them and you just tell them to go away. It's the best feeling. So I'm just going to keep playing it. So I'm publicly saying it here. I'm just going to keep playing it until I win. And so I will freak out if I do. It'll be a good day when that happens.
I don't blame you. I would too. I haven't won a game yet either. Because like when it first came out, I was getting probably like top 10.
Yeah.
Probably the best I got was like third. I'm like, cool. Like, I'm not too bad at it. I'll keep pushing on. I'll get a win. Then get distracted, playing some other stuff for a bit. Come back to it because Tetris was fun. Let's have a go again. And just the hardcore Tetris players just must be playing this thing. I just get smashed. Just get absolutely smashed.
Yeah. It's at that stage now where most people who've they gave it a go, they're done. And whoever's left now it's just those diehards. It's the ones who will eat you up for breakfast, and that does happen still. You'll go into a game, and before you start, you have 5 people targeting you. You're like, shit, here we go. Just I'm gonna have to fight straight away just to keep going, just to make the top 50 hopefully, and you go from there. I'm trying different things. I don't target people with badges usually, but if I've got a few KOs and I've got a bit of attack power, I'm trying to attack other people with badges in the hope that if I knock them out earlier, that might be better. So if I've got it lined up with, I can do 2 heroes in a row, those big blue bars, I try and wham it onto a person with a few badges. Mixed results so far. I've been pulled. The pants have been pulled down from me a few times trying that way, but it's one of those games, high risk, high reward, I suppose. So I'm going to do it. I will do it. I'm going to positive affirmation. I'm going to get a win. So
was it the themes that dragged you back in, or was it talking with Oliver on your show? Talking
with Oliver. Because it was just an item I had on the show. Because there's like older themes. I have all the themes that are on here. Except I missed one in April for Kirby in the Forgotten Land, so they'll do that one eventually when they say, "Here, you got a second chance." But that won't be for years, maybe. Maybe I don't know. They've been very slow with the content this year. So ever since this weekend, before that was Kirby in April for a theme, but they haven't done anything for like Strikers or Nintendo Switch Sports or Three Hopes or even Xenoblade 3 now. So there's a few more games coming out this year, so they've got a bit of a backlog now. So I hope they keep doing the themes because
the last time I was like, oh, I've got to get that theme was a Pokemon Sword and Shield because like all of the music was so all the sound effects of like the level up, the HP up, just all the bips and bops. I loved it. Honestly, it's kind of satiated my need for anything else because I love that theme. I don't know if I need Kirby sounds or Metroid sounds, like they're all cool obviously, but I love the Pokemon one so much. So maybe with Scarlet and Violet I'll be like, oh, I need that theme. I reckon that will probably get me into it. But it's interesting how this is the first Tetris game, because like it's great that this version of Tetris dragged you into it. Because Tetris it's just so much fun. So I think it's just an experience everyone should give a go, because some people might look at it. I'm not saying you, but people might look at it, oh, it's a puzzle game. It's old, whatever. But I feel like it's a lot of fun, because my first Tetris was one of those like just standalone electronic handheld things. It was at my grandma's, like type of thing you go and buy from the supermarket,
like Kmart or something.
Yeah, it's like imagine like a Game & Watch, but for Tetris, and it's just some God knows what knockoff brand. So I had that, and at a garage sale somewhere there was a Game Boy that came with Tetris. So I got that, and that's how I played Tetris at home. And it was actually Tetris DS. That's probably my favorite version of Tetris. Okay. Which was like a Nintendo made version of Tetris and published by them, and it was like all Nintendo themed. It was like all 8-bit sort of Nintendo franchises with Nintendo music and Nintendo characters on the top screen doing different things while you're playing on the bottom screen. It was really cool.
Okay.
I really wish
touch controls?
No.
It'd be hard to. I don't know how you would. Yeah, just trying.
There could have been touch controls. I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely didn't play with touch controls.
Would be worse anyway, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the DS one's my favorite one. I really wish I had a copy of it. That's a title. If I ever see it anywhere, that's 100% buy. I actually
would be expensive, would it?
It probably wouldn't be cheap. I couldn't imagine it being under $50 for us here.
Yeah. What is it? I'm just gonna go to easy.
I played it, and shoot me everyone, but I played it on my R4. I had a pirated copy. I'm sorry. It's just it is what it is.
$28 cartridge only.
Gross.
With the case, $50. That's a lot of money to pay for Tetris, isn't it? It's
yeah. I'll be
nostalgia.
Honestly, I'll be honestly kind of all right with like that. It's a game I really liked. So, and like by the time I played it, I believe it was out of print. So
yeah. I think I might have it on one of these pirated DS carts I allegedly own.
I'll give it a go. Yeah.
Allegedly
own.
Allegedly. I got it for the Castlevanias because there's 3 of them on there, and they're too expensive to buy, and so I got it for that. And there's like $100 games on it. I reckon that was one of them, Tetris DS.
Yeah. So, nice. So give it a boot up if you ever feel like a different version.
A slow version.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's going to be a lot slower, but you can play it for different scenarios. Like if you're going to bed, you might not like I know you can get the DLC, so you can just play normal Tetris on Tetris 99 as well. But it is like a different sort of thing. Like you're going for a high score, you're not in a rush, and it does get
Yeah.
progressively faster. So it's not like it's going to be real slow the whole time. But you're not
No,
getting-
that's it. Yeah, I'm dissing it, but yeah, you're right. There's lots of different options and different modes, and so there's
Go back to
things for
the Game
everyone.
Boy version when you can't press up on the D-pad to do the automatic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Then you'd be
music
like,
though,
"Ah."
that music's banger. I love that theme in Tetris 99, the original OG one. Since I got into Tetris 99, I've got the Game Boy version. Played Tetris Effect. I downloaded that
yes.
as part of
Dude, yes.
PlayStation Plus Extra. That was free with it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that is excellent.
That's psychedelic. That's awesome. I want to allegedly eat something and make me feel things while I play that game.
Yeah, because Tetris Effect, it actually came on Switch the same day the Switch OLED got released. So
Ooh,
I
that'd be so good handheld playing that.
Yeah, I played it on
in a
I played it
dark
on
room.
Xbox Game Pass because it was free.
Yep.
But yeah, I needed to see it on my OLED screen, and it does not disappoint. Like put in the headphones, OLED screen.
It's a whole experience.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
I had a great time. I played it a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday night, and it was just all I was missing was the weed brownies. I feel, and it would have been
yeah,
amazing.
Because it was a VR game. Like originally, it came out on PlayStation 4 and had a VR mode. So you put on like the VR helmet, and like everything's just going nuts, and you can just nuts. I didn't play it in VR. I probably should because I didn't buy it, but I guess through PS Plus now, I guess I can use Connected on PS4 and use the VR mode.
Yeah,
I don't know.
VR. I've got my VR somewhere. So yeah, how would it work? Controlling? Do you got to with the controllers? You can.
I believe it's just the same controls.
You just play with the controller.
Yeah, it's just all the visual audio experience going on with it. Sort of enhances it.
That would be cool. All right, I might do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. All these Tetris games you've got to play now. You can never get back to Xenoblade. It'll be just VR helmet on.
That's it. Then I've been playing Pokemon Puzzle League in between things as well. So I'm just puzzle games and JRPGs currently. So it's been a good time.
It's good to sort of balance those though, because you can't do two JRPGs at a time. And it's good to go back and
you need a palate cleanser with the JRPG, and the Tetris is my palate cleanser. So
because I definitely felt that after a week of like Warriors, because going into a battle and be like, all right, you need it over here, hack them to death. Or you need it over here, hack them to death. I'm like, all right, I need a bit of a palate cleanser after 25 hours this week.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's always good to play something else. And that palette cleanse has basically been Mario Kart for me, like with the new DLC, and been really enjoying that over the weekend since I finished Fire Emblem. And I think we were talking about it before the show, but we sort of agreed that this is probably one of the best Mario Kart, or the best packs so far out of the two.
Great tracks. It's compared to the first wave. This one's got, well, for me personally, but I feel universally for most people, it's people are raving about it in terms of like the tracks are better. Yeah.
So just in case you haven't played it or need a reminder, it comes with 8 courses. And so the first course is New York Minute, which is from Mario Kart Tour, which is an excellent track, actually. I really like this one. And the Mario Kart Tour tracks, how they're like a bit of a combination of stuff from Tour, and each lap it changes. So you get put in a different direction or whatever. I think that's actually a lot of fun and adds a good dynamic to each track. So I like that one quite a lot. Mario Circuit 3 from the Super Mario Kart, which is, I love these Super Mario Kart remasters. I think they're really well done. This one, like, it doesn't add anything crazy, because some of the other ones, like from the Game Boy Advance versions, like, the track like elevates up and you go like up in anti-gravity and you come down and do all this crazy stuff, which was not in the original game. But this one's just sticking to the original Super Nintendo Mario Kart. But it's just nice to be like, it's just nice to be with basics, very straightforward shortcuts. But of course you need the correct item at the right time. So it is what it is. You're not always going to be able to take it, but I quite like it. Then we got Camilleri Desert, which I think this was the one that made me go, oh wow, just with how it sort of changes things up, where you're not just going the same way the whole time. It actually forces you to go onto the train track. Where in Mario Kart 64, you'd just typically be like, look, I might take the train track, but it's a risk because the train might come and just gobble me up.
Destroy you. Yeah.
Yeah, but in this one, it forces you to go that way.
Mm.
The track just elevates up and does a big turn off, and you jump off and go on anti gravity and not with the anti gravity, the glider. You go down. So, oh, geez.
Mm.
So I thought that was really cool how it does that, changes things up. We've got Waluigi Pinball, which is my favorite, one of my favorites from Mario Kart DS. Which
Great
for
track.
for a long time, Mario Kart DS was my favorite Mario Kart until 8. I think, well, especially 8 Deluxe. I think Mario Kart 8 is just awesome. I love it so much. That's why I'm not so sad that it's sticking around for a long time, getting all this update. I'm like, well, it's a great game. Just let them build up that juice and release a really awesome Mario Kart next time to sort of outdo it.
Yeah, that's it. The Switch 2.
But what do you think of like the first 4 tracks? Like, were you a fan of Mario Kart DS? Did you play that one much? Are you familiar with Waluigi Pinball?
So I picked up an OG DS back in the day, and it came bundled with Mario Kart DS.
Cool. Did you get the red one?
No, the plain normal silver.
Okay. I just remember they did the red one, and that was pretty neat.
Okay, yeah. No, so I got the silver. It was a big chunky boy, but it had a backlight. And as you know, I lived in the country. We picked this up in Adelaide, and so it's a 3-hour drive back to where I used to live. And it had a bit of charge, and I fully remember playing this, holding it in my hand, and playing all these tracks. And yeah, I think I'm with you. Mario Kart DS is great. It's got all the different modes outside of the main Grand Prix Cups, the missions, then the battling online. The fact I could blow into the console to blow up the balloons, things like that. It was just a really good game.
Everybody looks over the battle mode. Everyone looks to Mario 64 saying that is the best battle mode. And look, I agree. Like, you've got the 4 players controllers in front of the TV, but
the bomb at the end when you've lost.
And everybody talks about Block Fort, and Block Fort is such a fun multiplayer map, and they've never replicated it again. Never.
Yeah.
And what was really cool about that is like you can look at your friend's screen and see that, look, they're on the blue portion of the map. I'm heading there. I've got a red shell. They're dead. And that sort of technique got sort of replicated in an indie game called Screen Cheat, where you can't actually see the enemy on your screen, but you can look at their environment on their side of the screen to work out where they are. I thought that was a really interesting mechanic, and that was sort of that reminds me of Block Fort, because that's what that whole setup is.
Yeah.
But in Mario Kart DS, you're able to do 8-player CPUs, and it has Block Fort. So I just played so much just with CPUs, and you can put them up to hard. And when it gets down to that final like 2 people, it's so much fun because you don't have a time limit. And every Mario Kart since implemented a time limit in battle mode, and I just think that just completely killed the whole mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with battle royales now, the whole fun of it is just the tension at the end.
The last one standing. That's it.
They do have like the area getting restricted, but there's no time limit. Like it just takes as long as it takes to kill them. And I think Mario Kart DS was the last one that was like, this was like true blue battle mode. But I miss it.
Great game. I'm 100% with you. Underrated. And one of the best tracks was Waluigi Pinball. And so when they announced this was coming back, I was very excited. To be honest, the Turnip Cup's my favorite out of both of them here. I love both. This one's my favorite just because New York Minute. I love, firstly, what they've done with the tour tracks. And as someone who's never played tour before, or properly anyway, to actually, these feel like new tracks to me anyway. And the fact that it's a circuit, really, instead of 3 laps. And the fact you're going different places, you're sort of sightseeing as you're racing. Great time. And then in Calamari Desert, like, people are complaining that they haven't changed anything. Well, play this one, and you're literally going on the track now deliberately. And it's Calamari Desert's without the train on the track, it's a boring track. But now that you have to go on it, it's fun. And was my favorite track on the 64 back in the day, and now I think it's even better. Yeah, nice. I think it's even better now. And imagine if you were forced to race it like this, and you had to go on the track, to finish the race. I think that just would have made it even better. So all of it's great. And then I like the SNES ones because they're drift central. The skill players win those ones because some of those drifts, especially at 200cc, like you have to get them so right.
Yeah.
This is one I struggle with if I'm not on with my drifting, and so it's all the sweeter when you do get it right.
Yeah, definitely. I guess moving on to what I'm just looking at the picture. What would you call the propeller power up? Is that what it's called? The propeller cup? I actually don't know.
It's propeller cup.
Propeller cup, something like that.
Yeah, it's like Super Mario Bros. The hat he wears.
Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wii.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. I'm trying to look up
Anyway, the tracks are Sydney Sprint, Snowland, Mushroom Gorge, and Sky High Sunday. And I think first up, just like my favorite track out of probably the new update is Sydney Sprint from Tour. Very biased from Australia, so it's just cool seeing like iconography from Australia. Even though I'm not a big fan of Sydney, I've gone there a couple of times. I'm like, yeah, it's like
too big for you, Drew. I'm from the country, mate.
Yeah, probably. I'm a bit showing my bloody rural sensibilities here. But I don't know. When I go to Sydney, it's really weird to me. Like, someone says they came to Australia, but they come from like the States. They land in Sydney. They go and look at Madame Tussauds and the Harbour Bridge, and that's Australia, and go home. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me, but I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed Sydney Sprint. I think it's really great. It's just a lot of fun. It's a great Mario Kart track, and I really enjoyed it. And I've had some great experiences on the weekend playing this track. I was playing with like the Carpool Gaming crew, which you joined in as well. And even if it was by accident, you joined in, just been like, "Hey, Drew's online," and I sent you a link to their Discord and just their voice chat with a lot going on in it. But there was a time when like I was in first place like the whole race. Someone just took over me. Then I see like on the map, someone launched a blue shell like just when I got taken over. So it was locked onto the other bloke in front of me. And I could see the blokes like trying to like slow down to stay around me. And I just put on the brakes and turned around him. And I had a bob-omb like trailing me. So I put it on the corner. So he just got blown up by a blue shell. Then I blow him up with the bob-omb and put him back to like third or fourth place. I'm like, that was a good feeling. And that happened plenty of times to me. So I dare say he got his payback. But just like times like that in Mario Kart, it's so fun. And
you recorded this, and that was epic what you did. So you just knew what to do. But no, you were very good. I came in late to this, and so I think we only did about 8 races, but I think you did like 40 all up, and so you were easily winning the overall rankings, Drew. So I think you're a bit of a talented Mario Kart player. So
yeah, well, this is what I told you, Mike. It just depends who's there, because like I might be able to win some, but if someone's like real good, then Drew has no chance. He's getting bloody red shells in the face. He's copping someone else's blue shell, even though he's in 8th. Like, I don't know how that's happening, but geez, it's just how it is. But
you did well.
I don't know. With this DLC, everybody's like playing it. People are streaming it. You can jump into people's races and stuff. And in 2017, I was doing a bit of Twitch streaming, playing Switch games, and Mario Kart was just like a really easy one because like another 11 people can jump in with you, and a lot of people are actively looking on Twitch for people to race with. So like my Twitch channel actually like grew like pretty well, considering I was like a nobody on Twitch. People are just looking for people to play with, and it reminds me of that because like I can go and say like, oh, Carpool Gaming or Wacko Jacko or whatever's playing, and it made me sort of think like we should really like set something up again, like us guys, or whether it's the House of Mario or just just us playing for fun, with each other. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I don't know, should do that again, even when the hype's died down, and just play some Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or anything that's not Strikers. Yeah.
What's that? I don't know what you're talking about, Drew. Forgetting that one. Yeah. No, I agree. Mario Kart. I had a great time. That was fun, and it just brought me back to why the games are so good. So I would be so down to keep playing it. Keep playing those tracks. Yeah, it's such a good game. And then I'm glad to finally got some DLC for it. And so we're going to get a lot more tracks by the end of next year, isn't it? So by the end of this, that's the end of 2023. The first game came out on the Wii U in 2014, I think.
Yeah,
So
it did.
that's pretty much 10 full years of content for that being the main console version of Mario Kart. So that's crazy. It's gonna, sell so many games. Like it already has now, but it's just gonna continue to sell and be amazing to see what it does land at.
Because I personally never expected another Mario Kart to come to the Switch. I just felt like, just from Nintendo's perspective, it's like, why hamstring this version? It's still selling so well. It's been bundled. Everybody's picking this up. It's sold over 40 million now, and it kind of just muddies the picture for people being like, oh look, I bought a Switch. It's probably a no-brainer for most people that have like kids or you want a bit of a party console. Go and pick up Mario Kart, because there's nothing like it. You got some knockoffs. Probably the closest thing is Crash Team Racing. Yep. Which is probably the closest thing, and that's a great game as well. But it's to me, it's not Mario Kart. It's a little bit harder. I don't think it's like as accessible to probably people that just want to pick up a controller and play something like this. So yeah, I just feel like it would muddy the picture if it's like, what Mario Kart do I get? Do I get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or do I get? Yeah. So yeah, I think this is probably the best way to go. Is just like keep up their subscriptions with keeping it in the pass or selling it for $40. I think it's a pretty well way to go, and double the amount of tracks in the one game. That's just nuts. How that's literally double by the end of this thing's rolled out. It's gonna be awesome.
Just under 100 by the end. Yeah.
But
will it be 100?
It was 48 plus 48, so not quite.
There was DLC though originally on the Wii U for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Did the DLC from the Wii U make it up to 48 tracks?
It might have, because it probably was 32 at first. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, then yeah.
So it'll be 96 tracks by the end, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So not too bad. Like
for one game, that's Deluxe is correctly describing the game, I think.
A lot of content, but keep in mind, like, bought it for full price on Wii U, even bought it for full price.
Yeah,
on Switch
I double dipped. Yep.
And then, like, by the time this is rolled out, you would have paid
DLC.
you would have paid 2 years of Nintendo Switch Online, so $120 for 2 years. So yeah, good on them, Nintendo. Look, see,
you win. You got me.
I do not mind when they take my money, but I'm getting a good product. Like, I think that's pretty safe to say for most people. But when you feel like ripped off, that's when it's like, it's not good.
We've been wined and dined before we've been taken behind.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said any better myself, John.
Oh, I could have said it a bit more grotesquely, but I restrained. That's good content, Mario Kart. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, like, what would you want from another Mario Kart? Because I'm sort of under the assumption that we're getting a new Mario Kart with the next console, because it's probably the most important franchise to Nintendo, and Nintendo knows that they need a big hitter to kick off their next generation. So I assume that that's going to be saved for the launch, or maybe just like a launch title or later that year. I think it'll be there somewhere, but it's going to
Makes sense, doesn't it?
It's going to be a little bit more of a hard sell, because they've made this game now very, very compelling. Like, what more do you need? Because they could add like more Nintendo characters to the next Mario Kart. They could have a wacky mechanic. I don't know how much more wacky you sort of need to go than going upside down and all of this stuff. Like, change new items. I don't know how they can sort of reinvent the series to make this title be really important sort of push to get another system. But
make it a live series game, live action. Just
good, yeah.
Make Mario Kart 8 Deluxe free to play, and then just keep charging DLC. Not sure.
And I wonder if that's like a good route to go down, because we saw like Chocobo Racing and even a Crash Team Racing, after reviews, they said, "Oh look, we're turning on loot boxes and microtransactions." That's cool, Activision, you bloody dogs. But you could see, like, I wouldn't feel too bad about like putting money into this game to get like content, like tracks. I don't want to be buying like costumes and all of this stuff. I think
Mm,
that's when it gets messy and a bit gross. But when it's just like, look, you're getting tracks, you're getting content to play. Here you go. And it could be interesting too how they could utilize that and add more modes and things to do in between. So it's not just I'm going to 3-star it, then it's multiplayer.
mm,
It could be interesting that they can support it that way because I feel like Mario Kart, it's massive, but it could be much bigger.
mm.
It could always be like on the tip of our tongue with new content and stuff. You could see like just with these DLC packs that the conversation just sparks up again because everyone loves Mario Kart. It's been the same one for a long time, and while I love it, it's been the same one for forever. So
Yeah, probably normally we probably would have had at least one more extra version by now, probably closer to a second.
mm,
I like the idea of the live service, but I just think Nintendo just values, selling a game at a price. And I think Mario
I
Kart
appreciate that
10
too.
or
Yeah,
9, whatever it is, if we count Tour as 9, I don't know. But Mario Kart, I'm sure they'll call it 9 because 8 was so popular, but we'll see on that. But I think it'll be a standalone game on the new Switch. And hey, let's maybe they Nintendo it really fully like Smash Bros. And get all these different characters in, all these different theme tracks.
mm.
That
I
with the
think
new
that's
online
yeah.
modes, that might be the way to do it.
I think that's probably the thing that would make us go like, wow.
Mm,
Because you can see another Mario Kart and they're like, oh, look, there's another Bowser's Castle or another Mario Circuit. It's like, well, that was
yeah,
cool. Look, for me and you, like, they've got our money, but the 40 million people that have this game, is that going to push them to the next system? And I could see, like, as like more Zelda courses. We've got Zelda and Animal Crossing, and they are so cool. Everything going on in the background is unreal. The
yeah,
music, everything about it. Even like in the Zelda course for like Hyrule Castle, like you're collecting rupees instead of coins, you're getting those sound effects. Like there's no sort of detail left unnoticed. Like it's really
yeah,
quite incredible, and you could see that across like the whole game. That'd be nuts. And honestly, maybe that's why we didn't get characters and other Nintendo themed courses in this because they're like, look, you're getting a lot more content, but this one selling factor that will be in the next game is being held, which is like, getting like more F-Zero courses or whatever have you. Maybe that's why they're sort of holding off on that. I'd like to think so,
yeah.
but yeah.
I'd love it. I think with Smash Bros, I think it's doesn't seem like they're going to do any more. Seems like they might port a Smash Bros Ultimate to the next Switch, or if they're going to do it, it'll be very different. And so I think Mario Kart's the obvious next one to get the whole Nintendo IP universe into it. So, just Metroid ones, I get so excited for, or actually having Captain Falcon as a raceable character, and then in all his different worlds, and not just Big Blue, but all the other sort of tracks that he's been on. I think I get pretty excited over that. A Kirby one. Let's like air ride. Let's air ride this game, and
That'd be
doesn't have to be
awesome.
carts,
Yeah.
stars. Samus can be in a ship or something. Just yeah, they could go really, really ham with it.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember the Rosalina reveal trailer in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, but it's
Mm,
basically like on Rainbow Road and Kirby's flying on his star and
yes. Yeah.
they crash and like they see Rosalina and Luma and like just seeing that like Kirby on Rainbow Road, like just how it all mixes together. It's like that would be sick. Like Kirby would actually fit Mario Kart really well.
Mm. Oh, it
Yeah.
makes so much sense. Yeah. And then the
So
racing games in the past, it's a no brainer.
yeah. So like I really do appreciate this model and talking about like free to play. I'm so glad that Nintendo has restraint not to put a lot of their franchises this way. Because I think Nintendo learned the hard way when they went into the mobile space that like with a Super Mario Run, they wanted to be like, look, we're a software maker, we sell software, it's $10. I know that's expensive for a mobile game, but it's Mario. Everyone's like, well, fuck Mario. We got a Barrio, and that's free, and we just have
That's
to
right.
watch ads every 1 minute, and we put in $1 because we want some bloody microtransactions here or there. It's like, all right, I guess we're doing that, says Nintendo, and that worked on the mobile platform. Like Fire Emblem Warriors made it not Warriors, Fire Emblem what's it called? I forgot. The mobile game doesn't matter.
Heroes? Is it? No.
Yeah, Heroes. Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes. That's made over $1 billion. So okay.
So much money, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah. So
Honestly, crazy.
I'm glad they have restraint on their own platform, and like I've said it before, like they are the ones who are going to be selling Switches without Nintendo on Nintendo hardware. They're not going to sell to anyone. No third parties are going to be interested. So if they want to nickel and dime their audience, well, I think it's all downhill from there. So it's good that their software is pretty much just made to be purchased and enjoyed. And when we were talking about Strikers a couple of weeks ago, I know Bryce was like, wouldn't it be better if Strikers came out maybe and had like, support where you sort of support it with microtransactions and stuff? And to me, that's not what I want from Nintendo. I know like Epic does it really well. Free to play game on all platforms, an account that goes across them all, battle pass. I think that works great. But when it's like paid software or exclusive software to locked to one game, I think that's when it becomes a little bit more of an issue. But
yeah, I think as long as they make their own hardware, they're going to make you buy the game, or at least opt in for a subscription. So they just value what they make too much, don't they? Even with the Red Jeep book we read, they having Wii Sports for free as part of the Wii launch, they didn't like. So yeah, I think they value it too much, and I think I don't blame them when you're selling 45 million units of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at $60-$70 a pop. That's not bad at all.
Yeah,
for a re-release game.
You can imagine how much it cost them to get it to Switch, and how much
the margin, the return on equity on that. You don't need to do the cost benefit analysis to know that's a lot.
Nah, you put your calculator away, Josh.
Like, sorry, I'm not working at the bank right now.
He's like, nah. If Nintendo was a client, you'd be like, yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Should have bought their stock 5 years ago when the Wii U was the main console. That would have been the time. Just when the Switch got announced, that should have been the time to buy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the 3DS would have kept it a little bit not too bad, but yeah. I mean, can you imagine if it was just Wii U? It's like, it wouldn't even have any stock. Everyone's like, no, just take it.
Would have been gone. Yeah, that's right.
Handball it off.
Yeah.
So I guess talking about numbers, Josh, we can talk a little bit about the first quarter financials for this year, and we'll get through this a little bit more quickly. I know you've already sort of gone through this on your show, so I don't want to bore you too much. But for anyone that hasn't listened, heard any of the financial results, I'm always quite interested in just like checking out, how the games are selling, how the audience is reacting to them, what this might mean for future sequels, and all of that as far as like Nintendo's direction going into the future. And it's sort of one of the more noticeable things is that Pokemon Legends Arceus hasn't actually been updated for this quarter. So last quarter it sold 12.64 million copies, but since then it hasn't had any new data. So pretty much since then it hasn't sold a million since. And
it's fallen off a cliff, hasn't it? That's
so
surprising.
Like a little bit of a shame, because I think what Legends Arceus done was really like it was a good step for the Pokemon series, and it was a lot of fun just being immersed in like the different areas and going around catching Pokemon. For me, that was fun in itself, just being like, oh, that's a big one. You throw a ball. Because I think just that whole concept of being in that world and just immersing yourself and collecting, I think to me that was fun, but everything else that came along with it, from the exploration to the story, and I think it was just really well done. And I really sort of hoped that the next step would be sort of an evolution of that, but it doesn't quite look like that. It looks like it's more of the old concept being made open world, but that's we'll figure that out in November. But yeah, it doesn't look like Legends Arceus has really taken off afterwards. I think it's just like, I think a lot of people have just said, look, the new hotness is coming. I don't need to play this one. Like people, diehard Pokemon fans, or people who wanted to give this new thing a take within the first month or so, went and bought it. But people that weren't, they can wait for the next big thing.
Yeah, I think everyone who wanted it bought it straight away. And I said on the show that I think if it wasn't 1 million copies sold in the last quarter from April to June, it surely would have been just under. So I think
you wouldn't,
which is still surprising. I just really thought, even I know Kirby came out a bit later in March, and so was more recent in the latest quarter. But that sold pretty well in that next quarter, and so that's probably had a bit more of a tail compared to Arceus. So I'm sure it'll pick up again, and it'll be a million unit seller again for the next quarter, the next couple probably with the holiday period. So, but still, it was pretty amazing to get the 12.8 whatever it was million sold straight away up to the end of March. It's a lot of games. It's already in the top 10 top selling Switch titles, isn't it? I think around 7th or so.
Yeah, and what sort of concerns me is just looking at these figures as well. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it's last quarter it sold 14.65 million. Now it's up to 17.79 million. So it's gone up like quite a few million. So people seem to be more interested in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which, like, for me, the original Diamond and Pearl were great. The games that I played when I was a wee lad in primary school. But I feel like these remakes, they were just very cheaply made, and they didn't add anything to the original DS games that came out in 2006. So pretty disappointing on that front. Just to be honest, like Pokemon remakes, they always sort of enhanced the old games by quite a lot. And like for me, I was a big Generation 3 fan, and I didn't love Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, but you can at least acknowledge like that was a big step up from Game Boy Advance. Just like all the new Pokemon since those games released, the mechanics, the 3D graphics, some of like just the online play and everything, like it added a lot. But Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you didn't get any new Pokemon like from the generations onward, and online play was pretty non-existent. Like for the most part, like it didn't add anything apart from the underground stuff, which was kind of it was good, but it wasn't like amazing necessarily. But it seems like that style of Pokemon game might be more popular, and whether that's because there are two versions, people are double dipping a lot more than we think, or people just want that sort of classic experience more than the open area stuff in Legends Arceus.
Yeah, I think a combination of that, and then I definitely think Arceus is definitely geared towards a slightly older demographic of player. I think Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is a bit more traditional, isn't it? And I think the younger kids or people can more easily play it. And I think the Arceus one, it's a bit more. I heard it touted a bit more of a mature sort of offering, and so whether that kind of feeds into it, is that a reason why there's less sales? Maybe, but like it was 2 months later, and so very soon, and we already had. I know this doesn't count for much, but new Pokemon Snap came out earlier that year as well. So like there was a lot of Pokemon around that time, like a lot of releases, and so I reckon if it was a few months. I don't know if they did it a couple of months later, would that made a difference? Maybe, but again, like we've got Scarlet and Violet coming up, so be tough for them to try and maximize the sales and not try to cannibalize potential sales of other games.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder, because it makes me a little bit worried, because I love the direction Pokemon Legends Arceus was sort of going, and as an older Pokemon fan, I've been saying for a while I would like an experience that sort of grows with me. And like I love Pokemon, I love going back to it, but I would like an experience that sort of grows up a little bit with me. And I think Legends Arceus was a pretty good push in that direction. But are there far less adults playing Pokemon than we think? Is it way more kids? Is that the reason why these were selling more? Because not a dual stick sort of control wise with the game, is that a hindrance to some people? I'm not sure, but it's interesting to keep an eye on, and I hope Game Freak sort of continues to do both, because I don't want to see another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, like just with how they did that, just with it, like it was just pushed out, and at release it was broken as well. Like people were hacking it and cloning and doing all sorts of things in that game where it wasn't up to snuff. It was not up to snuff.
No, it wasn't, and it is concerning as well. I agree. I hope with Black and White they do a better job of bringing it to modern modern gaming standards, I think that would be more preferred than what we got with Brilliant Diamond Shiny Pearl, which was serviceable enough, but just didn't add anything extra. So you just felt like you were playing a slightly more upscaled version of the same game. Whereas previous remakes have been that plus the more which you want.
Looks like some of the other Pokemon games have only sold like a little bit more. Like Pokemon Sword and Shield's gone up a little bit, and Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, it's gone up a tiny bit as well. I wanted to get a physical copy of Let's Go Eevee because I collect the games on Switch, but I can't find a copy anymore. So I think that game's gone out of print. So that's probably enough. Yeah, it seems like, at least here in Australia, like Let's Go games don't seem to be in stores anymore. So that could be a reason why that game's slowing down. Because I think Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, it's always going to play a role for like a very accessible Pokemon experience. And there's always going to be people playing Pokemon Go who are like, they want to give the games a go. So it's always going to play a place there. And new Pokemon Snaps, it doesn't have any new data, so that's interesting. New additions this year with Nintendo Switch Sports sold 4.84 million copies. That's pretty good. Because it's a fun game. It's a fun game, but it's just sort of suffered from Nintendo's updating sort of way of releases where we're still waiting for golf. Like, come on, like
where's golf? Like that update the other week. Like, what was that? That was a nothing update. You can use the leg strap now. Like,
I think that's really like. They honestly, like in retail, you go and get the physical copy and the leg strap. Then 2 months later, they say you can use that leg strap to play the soccer mode now. Okay, Nintendo. Thanks.
They had to make it. They wanted to release it in April. They got 90% of what they wanted to do, and I think this golf has taken a bit longer than they wanted to, sadly. And so
because it makes sense to me to be like, look, golf is coming out later on to like get engagement back. I don't agree with that. I think that just makes it a worse product when you're probably more interested in playing it, honestly. But that is what it is. I hope they don't continue to do it. I think they will. But when it comes to like the leg strap compatibility, like you got to be joking. Why did that take so long? That should have been in there.
Yeah,
but
I agree. It's baffling.
Really baffling.
Just rushing to get close enough is good enough. And we've both been pretty vocal on this with sports titles and our annoyance with how Nintendo goes about it. And Strikers suffered the same fate, didn't it? It's undercooked, not quite what you want. And when you see the first wave of free downloadable content just adding characters that really don't add anything, it's makes you question. How much did they have planned for this game? Did they always know it was going to be, or always plan for it to be as shallow as it is? So
because speaking of like a good return for Nintendo, like Mario Strikers, it sold 1.91 million copies, and like that was like in a month. So, geez Louise, you could see like the amount
not even
of
a month, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, you can see like the amount of like the core mechanics of Strikers. They're okay, but everything around it, it's like there's just nothing there. There is nothing there, and just to get that return, you can see why they do what they do, because they delay Zelda for years and years. They put everything into that game, give the team all the attention it needs, and it becomes like one of the best games that's ever been released. It would be one of the best games on the Switch, like bar none. But in the meantime, they've got to make money. So it is titles like Mario Strikers. It is titles like the Mario sports games in general. But you can see it works for them. It obviously works for them. So don't know.
That's right.
We're not going to we're not going to win when it comes to this. I think like I can't remember if I was talking to Bryce privately or on the show about this. So sorry if I'm repeating this to anyone that's listening to this. But honestly, the next Mario Sports title, guys, we're ignoring it. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of my time. Who gives a shit? Like, honestly.
What if it's horseback riding, Drew? What if they bring that back?
Oh, well, I can't say no to a horsey.
No. With Edelgard.
Oh.
Here we go. That would bring Drew back.
Yeah, all she says is, are you looking for a gap in my armor where you're trying to slip through a sword? I'm like, maybe.
If it was Manuela for me, I'd be yes.
What if I am? What if I am, Edelgard?
What if I am? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
How do you fix the sports titles?
Yeah, and unfortunately, Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, we got no data, but that game come out like just on the cutoff of
Just before, yeah.
the financial results. I hope that game went well. It deserves it. Being Fire Emblem, hopefully boost it. But I think I think a lot of people are actually a little bit iffy on the Warriors titles, even with Nintendo franchises involved with them. Because Age of Calamity, it was kind of like everyone's a bit wary because that game didn't run very well, and also like they hyped it up to be like the prequel story to Breath of the Wild, but they very quickly be like, this is an ultimate universe with a completely different story and outcome. It's like, oh, it's like you kind of
Yeah,
misguided us pretty much. I thought it was going to be this.
it was
the prequel.
misleading. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been the same with Warriors games. It's probably not quite my thing. But I admit the Fire Emblem Three Hopes, that's definitely the closest. I mean, I've played a little and enjoyed it. So, it's definitely got the right things going for it compared to the other ones for me anyway. If they did a Xenoblade one, I'd be very interested in that.
Oh, that would be dope. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Xenoblade one. Yeah.
And I wouldn't be that surprised to see one, honestly. I think like the hype for Xenoblade is right up there, and it's a perfect title to work with. Any game that has a war, it works very well. So
Yes.
Xenoblade,
if they based it heavily on 3,
yeah.
that'd be good.
Because honestly, I could see the next Nintendo themed Warriors game being Xenoblade. I think for me, like we've had Zelda. I think I'd love to see like a Pokemon one, a take on that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if they. I don't think they keep it cutesy. I think they make it like a game based on war. There's like a whole sort of fan theory of like the Pokemon War from like when you talk to Lieutenant Surge, he talks about the war that involved humans and Pokemon, and Pokemon X and Y as well. There's like part of the story is describing the war and how that story unfolds and like the secret weapon and all of that. Like there is like a backstory of Pokemon that has like involves war involving Pokemon. So I'd love to just see, a bunch of Pokemon characters to play as, going around as Charizard. I think it'd be pretty cool.
It'd be cool. I reckon it'd be alarm bells ringing for the Pokemon company having that sort of, I don't know, violence towards the Pokemon
Probably,
brand.
yeah.
I don't know. As much as I'd want that game, I think that'd be so cool. I
mean, it wouldn't be so bad. You just like, say you're running around as Pikachu, you Thunderbolt somebody, and the Pokemon's like, oh, they faint, they go back in the Pokeball. It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Oh, look, they fainted, because in Pokemon they're playing around with like, animal cruelty themes and all that, and people like touching on this. Like, guys, it's Pokemon. It's a different universe. Calm down, all right. But you can see Pokemon's it. Like, they're not going to get knives out. It's all good.
Yeah.
No guns. Yeah. And I guess the last addition to games that came out this year is Kirby and the Forgotten Land at 4.53 million. So I think that's great. I think it's really good that Kirby come out and has sold well, because Kirby and the Forgotten Land was definitely what my most enjoyed Kirby game. And I've enjoyed a lot of Kirby games in the past, like Squeak Squad and a few on the DS, Canvas Curse, Epic Yarn. Like, they've done some like great sort of take different takes on gameplay styles and art styles. Like Epic Yarn on Wii was like a really beautiful game, and we weren't really used to like good looking games on Wii, but just how you saw the fabrics of the yarn and everything. And I know that Goodfield went on to do the Yoshi games, but yeah, I think it's great that HAL is being rewarded for their efforts with Kirby.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. Like, they finally took the plunge to 3D, and heck, they're selling copies of games, and it's at record highs. Wow, what an idea and a concept. So, took them long enough. Great to see. So I think we'll see more of this, more Kirby action in the 3D realm, which was great. It's so much better than Star Allies. I will, I that was instant regret purchase for me, sadly, when I bought that game. I don't think you ever bought it. So
no, I never bought it. I'm like, I don't.
So you're smart, Drew.
I don't. Oh, I don't know about that.
I was the dumb and bought Kirby Star Allies. Tried to enjoy it, finished it, and nothing good about it. So
yeah, and yeah, I'm buying everything, even Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I like barely touched. But Kirby, I'm like, nah. I don't need that.
You were recording the podcast as well at the time, so I'd be interested to hear your thoughts as to why you didn't. because you
Well,
felt like you got to cover games, so
well,
especially Nintendo published ones.
Well, I play a lot of Nintendo games, and that's mainly
Mm.
not even because of the show, just because I love to play them. Like Nintendo's my
Yep.
favorite publisher, so I enjoy to play them. But when I see a Kirby-looking Kirby game, which is doing nothing new and is mainly based around playing multiplayer when I've got no one to play with, I'm like, I probably don't need that one. I'm probably okay. And if I bought it for like $80 and I come back to the show, I'm like, yeah, I played Kirby, I finished it. I bloody jumped around a bit and I sucked up some stuff and I got an ability where I had the cutter and did I cut up some things or what, Josh? Did I bloody slice and dice?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, no. And I had a friend, his name was Meta Knight. He jumped around the back. He was AI controlled because I got no friends. And the ending really actually blew me away because it said the end. I'm like, thank God for that.
Yep. Yep.
Thank
no more.
God. Or
Thank
did it say
goodness.
Finn? Did it say Finn? I didn't play it obviously, but did it say Finn or the end?
Finn does ring a bell. It might have been that.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't buy it.
Again, you're smart. That's what I'm saying. I was the dum-dum. I just went for it. I didn't even have a podcast at the time, Drew. So I just bought it because I thought it was cool.
You bought a game. You didn't even have a podcast. What's the point of it? Hey, I hope you got some enjoyment out of it though. Like in all seriousness,
That was all right. It's a bit.
A bit, yeah.
Yeah. I've played other Kirby games and enjoyed them fairly well, and this one was like you said, just more of the same. So yeah. Forgotten Land though, they'll do another one. They'll do another Last of Us pseudo Kirby game, and it'll be great. More of that.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Kirby's daughter doesn't die at the start of the game though, so they need to go a bit further if they want it to be The Last of Us.
No, fair.
I never saw Joel in The Last of Us suck up a car.
No,
I never saw that.
No, I missed that bit. In the remaster coming up.
I hope they put that in the remaster.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Switch hardware sale updates. The Switch is now at 111.08 million. So, Jesus, it's the second best selling system of all time. No, not counting the debt. Sorry,
handhelds.
It's the third best selling. It's still got to beat the PS4, but then after that, without handhelds, it's just got the PS2 in sights at 155 million. That's going to be a hell of a stretch. That's going to involve really strong software support for a few more years. I'd say at least 3, with other Switch revisions that also count towards this number. So, everybody sort of say, oh, look, it'll get the PS2. It's like, I don't know about that. I really do not know about that. That is a hell of a push, but we are in a time now where gaming's more popular than ever. It's just Nintendo needs to make sure it gets there. And because I dare say you feel this too, but they are running out of those big franchises that make us go, oh, like we're getting Zelda, that's gonna be great. But Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, whatever, like their big hitters are done, and like Pokemon games are coming out every year, and that's sort of like losing its wow factor, I dare say. Just as far as like pushing more people to get the system, we've already got like a few Pokemon games now, so how many more people are they going to get necessarily? Well, they might get more with me buying all the limited edition Switch Lights they release actually. So
you're not the only one, Drew.
Yeah, I seem to be collecting them now. Like I've got the 2 Pokemon special editions, so I'm like, I got to get the 3rd one. I got to get the 4th one. If they start doing it for each game and they start doing 3 games in 12 months, I'm like, fucking all right, calm down, Game Freak. All right, yeah.
Just I'm not made of money, Game Freak. Jeez, but no, you're right. They're doing sequels to Switch games already released, so they're at that stage where they've got plenty of weird and more niche things they could do, but the big stuff, the big hitting, selling stuff, they have already done. So there was a bit of worry with this quarter because it was a bit down compared to only 3.4 or 3.8 million units for the quarter, which is down a fair bit compared to the previous quarter. People are, there's some saying alarm bells. Is this the decline of the Switch? Are we going to, get this 6th year decline that always happens with their consoles, or is it just a little blip? I tend to believe what Nintendo's saying with the semiconductor shortage, and they just can't make
Yeah.
enough to sell. I think there's still plenty of momentum, and especially with what's upcoming, with I just said before it's sequels, but Breath of the Wild 2 is going to bring a lot of excitement still.
Definitely, yeah.
And that counts for something, doesn't it? So, it's a great time to be a Switch fan, and I think there'll be at least 2 more years. End of 2023 is when the Mario Kart DLC runs out, so we'll at least have
that's the timeline.
The current console till then. But yeah, I still think the PS2 better watch out at 155. I think
I'd love to see it. Like, I'd love to see the PS2 toppled. Yeah.
It's
just
on
from
track too, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just going to keep really interesting games. It'll be close.
Because like looking at like a lot of companies' financial reports, even like the console manufacturers, they're all sort of suffering the same fate. Like that is revenues down, selling those consoles, not being able to make them, not being able to ship them. A lot of this type of thing. So it's not just Nintendo. Like if Nintendo was an outlier, it's like, oh Jesus, what are they doing wrong? But just like the huge boost gaming got in the last couple of years, like you saw with Animal Crossing alone, like that series just got catapulted to new heights because people are looking for content to play while being stuck inside. So of course now that things are starting to go back to normal and people are like, well, I can go back to my other hobbies or got other things to do rather than play games. Of course it's going to happen. Like it's not going to keep going up when people are just like a lot of people probably just bought a Switch just for maybe a couple of games to play while being stuck inside, just being that bored. Like they're looking for something to do. Yeah. And,
you hit the nail on the head. It was 2 years of people stuck inside, and video games and consoles and units just skyrocketed. So it's to be expected that as the world opens up this year, things are going to be down. There's I've read lots of articles about how a lot of analysts think video games, the industry is recession proof, and we'll see. The next 12 months, we'll see, because I think the basis is people still want to be entertained. They'll still spend money on gaming, which is relatively affordable hobby-wise compared to other things in terms of the time and output you get, especially if you're there's certain JRPGs that you should play, Drew. 100+ hours of entertainment right there.
Oh, really? Well, which one would that be, Josh?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Well, just play back the start of this episode, and we'll revisit all that. But so you expect a bit of downturn. Nintendo's results are quite a lot better than the Sony and Microsoft ones for a comparison. Their drops, Sony's and Microsoft's drops in income, operating profit was more severe. So Nintendo's trying to buck the trend. Software sales were pretty good as well overall. They just can't make this stuff fast enough. Sorry. So they're doing all right. Not worried just yet.
No, definitely not. I think they're doing okay. They're doing okay. But it's interesting too, just with like the breakdown of the hardware sales, where the normal Switch sold basically a bit over 1 million copies, then the Switch Lite didn't sell 1 million since the last quarter, but the OLED went up a couple of million. So more people are opting for the OLED model, whether that's just because people are upgrading or people are saying like, look, I will get the OLED as my first Switch because that's the new model. I know like one of my friends, I saw her in EB Games picking up a Switch, and that was her very first game console was the Switch OLED. Never had a game console. Her parents wouldn't let her play video games when she was a kid, and I think she just felt like playing some games. So when I saw her in
stuff at mum and dad, we're gonna get one.
Yeah, well, she just got married, and she's my age, so she's 28. So I think her parents can't stop her from playing those devil video games.
Now. Yeah, that's
you
right.
You playing those Mario Karts, love.
I'd rather you do Tetris Effect on the OLED screen. Let me do it.
I'd rather you bloody do meth and sell it to primary school kids than play those things, mate. Jeez Louise. I never got that.
Yeah.
Because I remember at school, she wasn't allowed to go on Facebook or do anything. And, like, I can understand Facebook to a degree. But, like, when it's just Because I'm actually really good friends with her dad. I played soccer with her dad. Good, like, awesome bloke. But yeah, just don't know. What was she allowed to do?
Just couldn't play video games inside.
Yeah, I guess not.
You
But
get
yeah,
violent. You kill people. Your
yeah, but
brain turns to mush.
I thought it was really interesting that, yeah, the OLED Switch was her first one. And I just said, look, why are you getting it? And she said, like, oh, she just, wants to play some games. And the Switch seemed like the more appealing console to get for her. I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm like, you need to get Mario Kart, obviously. Animal Crossing, you probably get a kick out of it. Zelda. Like, I had like 10 games where I'm like, look, these are probably pretty good places to start. So she's like,
did you plug the podcast while you're there, Drew?
I don't know.
Should have.
Yeah, just like, I've got a good podcast you can listen to.
Episode 163, I did a breakdown of the best games to get on Switch. Just
I had my mate Josh from
there.
NintenVania. We talked all about it. About it's a nice like 13-hour podcast. Really take up your whole day, love.
That's true. She would have walked out by the second sentence. That's a very, very good point. But the OLED sells well because it's an easy thing to upsell. For the extra $70, it's you're getting for handheld play, the OLED screens, it's awesome. I don't own one, but my brother, I did a whole like cost benefit analysis again. I gave him the whole rundown of why the OLED like is different to the OG Switch or the V2 Switch with the extra battery, and what it does. And he's like, yeah, it's worth the extra $70. And he bought it, and he's like, yeah, it's the kickstand's better, or I don't have to buy an adapter for the dock because it comes with LAN already. All that stuff, it just made sense. And so so for that reason, that's why the OLED's selling more. And if I drop my Switch one more time, my OG Switch, I will need to buy one, and it will be an OLED rather than a V2 OG Switch. And so I think we're getting a bit of that now as well. People are had their Switches for a few years now, and they do break. Mine's very cracked at the top. I think that's something that a lot of the OG Switches get.
Mine was too before I traded it in. Yeah,
kind of up there. I don't know if
Yep, the exact same place, just near the.
Yep, you can see that
near the buttons, the power button. Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently that's a normal thing. It just when it overheats or something. Or
mine wasn't even dropped, man. Mine just cracked. Yeah.
And so, it's still fine. Mine works fine, but the moment it stops working, I'll be jumping on the OLED.
Yeah, I love my OLED. I'm so happy I got one. Like the screen alone is worth it, but just the whole build feels better. And I think a little secret thing that makes a lot of difference that you might not expect is that kickstand.
Yeah,
because like on your Switch, you'll be like you use it on a table potentially, but apart from that, you won't because it
has to be a table. I can't even like
a flat table.
Sofa, it won't work. And then my brother's on the sofa is fine now.
Yeah, because like now,
so flimsy. Yeah.
Now, like if I'm playing in bed, I'll probably take off the Joy-Cons and like just put it on the bed, and it will stay on the bed. It's perfect for that.
Yeah.
Like on the arm of a couch, put it on there. Just maybe on your belly if you're laying down as well.
Oh, nice.
So like you can just use it wherever you want compared to the old one where it's just you got to balance it pretty much on a broomstick, like trying to do a little
100%.
juggling trick. So yeah, no, I love the OLED so much. I'm glad they made it, even though it wasn't the Pro everyone was hoping for. But
hoping for the pseudo Pro. It's I love the Joy-Cons, the white ones, because they're different, and I don't have them, and that's another reason I would buy the OLED. But do they get dirty? Like everything white, gaming related, like even my suitcase I fly to the airport is white, and it gets incredibly dirty.
Yeah.
Do these get dirty? These Joy-Cons?
No, they don't actually, because that's one thing on the Switch Lite I'm a little bit concerned about because all the buttons and the sticks are white and they get dirty because they're rubber and they're the type of rubber that like if you got dirty thumbs, which like even if like you
Doritos,
even if like you have a shower and that, like you still got like dead skin and stuff that comes off as you're having friction among these like inputs. So you are going to get them dirty. So I don't quite like I think it looks nice when it's brand new, but the Switch Lite, that does get dirty. But with like the sticks and the buttons being black on the Joy-Cons, they don't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really stain the sort of glossy plastic on the Joy-Cons, which works out well. So
That's
no,
good.
it doesn't actually. Yeah.
What color is your light?
I've got a yellow one. And I've also got the 2 Pokemon ones they
Pokemon,
released.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And they've got different coloured buttons and sticks, so
yeah,
works that out.
yeah. Nice.
So yeah, I think that's as far as the sales go. I guess just an update on Mario Kart and Animal Crossing, just because they're the big numbers. They're always fun to see
Yeah.
what's happening. So Mario Kart is now at 46.82 million. So Jesus Christ, that's a lot. And Animal Crossing New Horizons is number 2 at 39.38 million. So it's gone up. It's gone up by not too much, honestly, a couple of thousand. So it's slowed right down. But the game's not really being supported at all with any content. Like that's all finished.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's a poor decision by Nintendo to let that audience just sit and not engage with new content. They saw the phenomenon. They see the sales. I think they should keep at it. To be honest, they should keep adding expansions. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
the game wasn't built to be maintained like that. So I guess they're just sticking to that.
Yeah, I honestly don't think they thought it would be as successful as it was. I think
no. Who did?
No one predicted what happened. That what literally it happened the same week, really globally, when the game came out. And so, I think if they had known, maybe they might have been able to provide more resources, or I don't know. Maybe they thought what they had for the next. It was about a year and a half, wasn't it, of content they did? Maybe it over a year.
Yeah, they had
maybe they thought that was enough. But they're
had
missing
free
out,
updates
100%.
and stuff, but
which were pretty standard.
Yeah, then
I didn't get. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the expansion pass that came out included with Switch Online. They had that, but then they said that was it, and I don't know, because there's just I saw so many YouTubers who covered Animal Crossing or went to covering Animal Crossing. They exploded with this game. So it goes to show that this game sold a lot, but the community is still there. And Kato, who I listen to on the Nintendo Drive, she's got 100 million subscribers, and her channel exploded because she is an Animal Crossing YouTuber. And I saw lots of these guys just become huge because of the thirst for content for this game. It all starts off with island tours and tutorials and just all the content that can be made with this game. And there's a segment of that audience that's always screaming for more content at Nintendo Directs and stuff. Yeah. And I know it's sort of a bit of a missed opportunity for that type of game, because a lot of them are moving on to sort of whether it's Stardew Valley, which kept on getting updates, or
keeps going, doesn't it? Yeah.
There's an Australian game called Dinkum on Steam, which is very much like an Animal Crossing sort of. I was going to say knockoff. It's on Animal Crossing
simulator kind of
type of simulator. Yeah, it's not a knockoff, because Animal Crossing is by far not the first game to do this type of thing. But that's made by one person, and they're doing a great job sort of keeping that up with early access stuff and giving people stuff to do. So they're just going to lose that type of gamer, which is important to their ecosystem and what they do. But
yeah, it's just one of those games people can keep playing. And so, yeah, you're right. It's a massive missed opportunity. Whether they feel they'll save everything for the next installment, for the next new Animal Crossing, maybe, not sure. But I have very, very fond memories of New Horizons coming out to the Switch and having to be in lockdown. We had the game. I was with my partner, Michaela. We were... I got to work, fortunately, at home, but we just every day in my lunch break, we just watch the next tutorial from Austin John Plays on new things.
Yeah,
we learned about the flowers and how to breed them, and when the arts update eventually came, blah blah blah. What you need to do for that, and that was crazy. We just all we were doing was playing Animal Crossing while we're hiding in our homes, and while everything around was pretty horrible, what was happening in the world. At that time was pretty. I look back at that pretty fondly.
Yeah, it's just it's perfect game for that situation, and
it was.
I'm glad that it came out then.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Yeah, so I think that's all we need to know from the financials. It's always sort of interesting, but sort of dry at the same time. I dare say you working in finance can.
I froth at it, Drew.
Yeah, pull appreciation from it.
It doesn't come soon enough. These ones are boring because every 6 months they have a bit more information on the other games, and so the one in 3 months, I'm keen for Metroid Dread to get to the 3 million mark because it needs to. It's already the best selling in the series, but I want it to get to that 3. I don't think it'll get to 4, but people listening, please buy Metroid Dread. I'm just going to do my call out there. That's
It didn't get
amazing
quite
game.
the Switch bump we
No.
expected, to be honest. Like, expected to
Yeah.
get to like 5 or something like pretty comfortably, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of the conversation around that game, and not even from say hardcore gamers, which we might interact with on Twitter or stuff, but just with like people in my own area and people that know that I like Nintendo, so we talk about Switch stuff. People are very reluctant to buy this because it's, you know, a 2D. It isn't 2D, it's 3D, but it is 2D.
Yeah.
As far as gameplay goes, they're very reluctant to spend $80 on it because of that. And I disagree with that. I don't think it loses value because it's not like a 3D open world game. I don't think every game has to be that, and I don't think every game should be that. But I think a lot of people felt like it wasn't worth like the
There's a
full
bias,
asking
isn't there?
price. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a bias, and I think it's a little bit unfair because does that mean developers can't make that type of game if they want like a full profit? Like they can't put all of their resources into that type of game? It's a little bit.
Maybe it's just why indie
scary in
developers
some
do
ways.
it because they can, they can't do the big 3D ones, and so they're, resigned to do the 2D ones, and created that niche. So
Because I'll just say to anyone that thinks that way, which is fine, because like $80 here in Australia, it's a lot of money to spend on that. And at the time, like there's a lot of stuff to buy on Switch, so you got to make your money work for you and play what you enjoy. But saying that a game like Metroid Dread can't be full price, that just says to Nintendo, we have to make an open world game or something big for you to spend that much money, and you don't really want it to be that all the time. And sometimes you might get duds like Mario Strikers where they kind of take a lend of you, to be honest, take a lend of your fandom and your money. But at the same time, they outsource Metroid Dread to Mercury Steam, and they made a really quite wonderful classic Metroid game. And I think it was like honestly worth $80.
Oh, it was. It's As a Metroid fan, it's so well made. As a lover of Metroidvanias, it's up there. It's one of my all-time favorites. And Mercury Steam have just absolutely mastered the genre now, and I want them doing all the future 2D Metroids, whatever happens next. But I do think when Prime 4 comes out, people will buy more copies of it. I think so too. Like, it's just going to be the whole 3D thing, and it'll sell 4 to 5.
Won't be that stigma where it's like, oh, it's a first-person shooter. Like, of course, that's worth it as compared to the older game, which is unfortunate. But people, they'll vote with their wallet, and
that's right. Providing it's good,
it
will sell that well.
Yeah. Oh, well, let's move on to the last bit of tidbit of news here. We got some stuff from the Pokémon Presents, which I got to be honest, Josh. Like, I'm looking forward to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I've pre-ordered the double pack, so I'm a part of the problem.
I missed out on that.
Yeah, I got in there when EB Games put it up. I think Amazon had it for a really good price as well. Which,
I missed out on that good price. And then I think I saw it normally, and it was more expensive than buying 2 individual ones through JB or EB.
Really?
And so I didn't bother in the end. Then later on, I thought, oh, no, I want to. And then it was too late. So my bad.
So I got the double pack. Part of the problem, buying 2 versions. But it is what it is. But it's probably the Pokemon game I'm been least excited about in my whole life. And not because I think it looks bad. It's just because, I don't know. I think it might be a fact that I played Legends Arceus earlier this year. And it also might be that I just wish Game Freak would take some of the feedback they got from their previous game and utilize it in this a little bit. But just with the time in between, obviously that's going to be nothing. This game's already been in production for years, so it doesn't quite matter. But I'm really intrigued by it. Like, the new Pokemon look great. I love how they basically outlined how the game works with the different stories. You can pick a path to go down, and you can do any at any time, and the gyms work in any order. And I thought that was really cool because when we heard open world, we sort of assumed like, oh, we go to the gyms, any order, we finish the game. Cool. Maybe some side quests, that'd be good. But no, there's actually like 3 main stories to do, and some will hopefully not be involving in battles, and the gym sort of challenge will be very, very battle dominated. And I actually really like the sound of that. I think it sounds really interesting how they'll implement that. So looking forward to November just for that aspect alone. That has me very interested. But also they've shown off the brand new mechanic, which, what is it called? Terrestrial Phenomenon, which is interesting because just to put it out there were a lot of leaks for this game, and this presents made it very apparent that these leaks are 100% real. So be very careful.
Yes.
This leaked. I couldn't help myself. I went and checked out a couple of screenshots. So I saw like, at the time it's just like Pokemon turn into crystals. It's like, okay. But it seems pretty interesting how they have like different forms, and they're not like crazy like Mega Evolutions or even Gigantamax. But like they show like the starters like what's its name? I forgot their names actually.
Fuecoco, Sprigatito, Quaxley.
Quaxley. All I had in my mind was Ducklet. Ducklet is a different Pokemon.
Different one, yes. No, even starter, no.
But the starters have like their own forms with like flowers popping out their head, water spurt coming out their head. And it's just like, it seems pretty interesting how they have like different types as well. And you can have rare forms where they'll have different types. That's intriguing from a collector's aspect, going around getting like different types as well. Kind of like, I guess like different Pokemon, they can possibly have the ability to Gigantamax into like a different form compared to just Dynamax. So it's a little bit similar to that, how they have their own sort of rareness to them. And if you find them in a raid battle, you'll be able to do that. And I guess before I yammer on too much, what did you think of the presents, and are you sort of excited for the Generation 9 games?
Yeah, I'm excited for them. I think this feels more different than what Sun and Moon was to Sword and Shield, and so I feel like we're getting the proper step. I don't know if I was excited for Sword and Shield, but it looked, it looked like a slightly more enhanced 3DS version of a game. And so with the open world factor here, I'm with you. I'm hoping they have a few more Arceus elements added in. I don't know if we know for sure whether we can creep up to Pokemon and throw Pokeballs at them. I don't know. Or is
no,
that
by
it
what I
might
can
still
gather,
be possible? Yeah.
by what I can gather just from this trailer and leaks and everything that's going on, it seems like it seemed pretty clear when like a wild Pokemon popped up. It was very much like popping up into a battle, send out your Pokemon, like doing the same thing. Because it seems like probably the most unfortunate thing about this is like Legends Arceus was like, let's try something new. It's not a mainline Pokemon game. So let's have some fun with it. Let's see what works. And this game is playing it safe. This was developed pretty much at the same time as Legends Arceus, and it's playing it safe. It is Pokemon, but the take on this is that it's open world and the story is out of order. So, but like throwing Pokeballs and like leveling up, just like outside of battle, like when you're running away from the Pokemon and all of like the quality of life stuff that's gone. Like for example, it like in Legends Arceus, it doesn't ask like, oh, this Pokemon is trying to learn Peck. Would you like to learn Peck? And you go yes or no. You just go to your big list and you can swap out moves whenever you want. Seems like that's gone because there's a screenshot going around like it's asking you to like, would you like to change this move? So like a lot of that quality of life stuff, it seems to be gone. So I just want to set expectations for people. This is Pokemon. This is back to what it was in Sword and Shield, but more open world, which is good and bad in some ways. My criticisms of Legends Arceus was I loved the gameplay and everything, but I missed like all the nitty gritty sort of battle mechanics that was stripped out of it, like abilities and just everything that made Pokemon a bit more strategical was
more strategic
sort of stripped
stuff,
out.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad that it's back, but it's never like the ultimate sort of.
You wanted the best of both, didn't you? You wanted them to make the clear next better step all round, and they just haven't quite done that. Yeah.
Yeah, because Pokemon, it's always one step forward, two steps back, and it is what it is. It's a little bit unfortunate, but I'm
excited for the open world. I enjoyed the wild area in Sword and Shield, and then they did it again in the DLC for the game. And then obviously Arceus was open area. It wasn't quite fully open world, so this will be a step up from that. So it's looking different enough for me. The three different stories, I really like that. I think that'll be cool to do. You can, for people like there's some people who don't really care about the story in Pokemon, and because sometimes they're not that interesting, and so people can just focus on the gym badges. And sounds like if that's all they want to do, and then for those who want to do everything, you got the option to. And doing it in any order is the cool bit as well. So
Yeah.
be interested to see. Obviously, they'll have to do some sort of, it'll get harder. You know, if you do the electric type first versus eighth, it's going to be a different level, isn't it? And so there will be some sort of scalability, I'm sure, to it all. So be a
So
bit,
it
bit of a
sounds
different
like there.
dynamic.
Yeah, it sounds like there is no scaling. Like it seems like the gyms will be leveled in a particular order from a few reports that we're getting, and it also
Okay.
sounds like from the way the Pokemon Company worded it on their website as well that like there will be no scaling. And it's interesting too because it's like how will it work the best? Like if you just come across a random gym and like will it be if they did do scaling, would it be scaled to your party? Would it be scaled to your
Yeah.
strongest Pokemon in your PC? Because there's some RPGs that have done scaling in the past. Like one of the most famous ones would probably be Final Fantasy VIII, where every enemy is scaled to your party, and it just encourages you to sort of like not battle anyone. And it'll be interesting in this, like if you went to a gym and you're like, I just want to do something different, and you're taking level 10 Pokemon, even though you've beaten another 7 gyms, you just want something
Yeah.
different. Will it scale to that? But it sounds like there is no scaling at all. So
Yeah.
will you come across a gym? It's like, oh, level 70s, Jesus Christ. But
Mm.
you don't really want to have to leave a gym to go and find another one. That doesn't sound like that much fun either.
No, so they're giving you the illusion then by the sounds of you can do any gym order you want, but if you're going to go to a level 50 gym with level 20 Pokemon, you're not going to win, are you? And so
Yeah.
the option's there, but you're probably not going to do it. And so what they do with Sword and Shield was, in the wild area, you could see the really more powerful Pokemon, but you couldn't touch them, could you, until you got to a certain gym badge level. That was right, wasn't it? I think trying to recall.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
couldn't just
Certain amount of gyms.
cheese it. You couldn't cheese it and catch a really high level Pokemon and play the game that way. They sort of made it not as easy as that, which kept it in line with previous games more so.
Yeah.
So it
So
might be the same then, by the sounds of it.
yeah, it'd be interesting just how they handle it because
Mm.
there's pros and cons to both ways. I just
Yeah.
hope that if you come across a random town, you see there's a gym, you're like, oh, found a gym, awesome. You don't want to go in there and be like, oh, well, I'll find another one. Then there might be a gym you just don't get around to. You go to it, oh, there's level 10s here. Oh, if you just smash it, that's no fun either.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
like
right.
you want it to be like a progressive thing, and that's just that just might be a loss for the Pokemon series we get from open world because it's just there is benefits to having linear progression in these games.
They can
So that
scale
just
it right.
just might be something that doesn't work as well. Like there's going to be a lot of other things like running around the environment, seeing Pokemon we've never seen before, catching them, and finding like different storylines and all this type of thing that open worlds bring. But maybe the gyms won't be as engaging because there's just not a linear progression and there's not a great way for them to scale it without it just being generic scaling. But we'll find out. We'll find out, I dare say.
Not long now, 3 months.
Yeah, not too long at all.
Ooh.
So we got some new Pokemon as well. We got what's this guy's Fido. Fido, yeah, little dog made of pastries. Pretty cool. It's a fairy type. His ability is own tempo. So yeah, pretty cool. I'd like to nibble on his ears actually. Nibble.
Be cool to see what it evolves into. Very cute looking.
We got a Sea Titan, which is probably the weirdest looking one. It's like
It's a Sea Titan. I mispronounced it if that's the case in my episode.
I might have. What did
I don't know. I did like Sedatan or something. But Sea Titan probably makes more sense.
I think it's Sea Titan.
It's
a Terra Whale Pokemon. It's an ice type. Its ability is Thick Fat and Slush Rush. It's probably the weirdest looking one out of the lot. When I saw it, I'm like, what the fuck? That's sort of my first reaction.
I thought I'm not going to pick that one up, but Oliver liked it, so he'll be picking that one up.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like a lot of these weird Pokemon, like they do grow on me. So like I never judge it straight away because a lot of even like the weirdest Pokemon, like you might get them on your team because their type advantage works out well for that particular part of the game, and they grow on you, and you sort of get over it. But yeah, this it's definitely a weird design. We got Wooper. I'm just like, what's the name of the region again? I'm trying to.
Paldea.
Oh yeah, Paldea. So we got the Paldean Wooper. So it's a poison ground type. Its ability
Poopy
is
Wooper.
Poopy Wooper.
Hooper Wooper.
Pooper Wooper. Its ability is poison point and water absorb. And it's got a bit of different belly pattern. It's got bones coming out of its side of its head instead of those other ear things a normal Wooper would have. So it's pretty cool. And it also showed off like the bikes, like using the legendary Pokemon as bikes, which was another leak that was sort of shown off in the Pokemon community earlier. So once again, all these leaks are going to be real if you do come across them. Sorry.
Have you seen like other Pokemon then, like evolutions of starters? I've been keeping out from the leaks, so
I don't want to know them. I don't want to know the leaks. I just had a moment of weakness.
Do you know that they've been leaked?
I don't think so.
Okay,
but because I really like this YouTuber called A-Drive. I really like his content. He recently hit 1 million subscribers. But it seems like his audience just wants to know about the Pokemon leaks because his videos are only Pokemon leaks. So I'm like, all right, dude, I can't watch your videos until November, apparently. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
So every now and again, I see a thumbnail and I'm like, just like, just really trying to clickbait you. I'll go, oh my God, look at this. It's like, oh, okay, I don't want to know that.
I'll be right. Yeah.
He's pretty good though, because like some YouTubers just put it right in the thumbnail, but he puts it behind a silhouette and a question mark and all this. It's like just to get your attention type of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't need to know. Like, there's a part of me that wants to, but
people who don't. Yeah.
I honestly wish they just said like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and just nothing, no information. Don't know if it's open world. Don't know the starters, the legendaries. I'll just see you in November. That'd be good.
Yeah, never going to happen, is it? Sadly.
No. And like, it can't either. Like,
no,
they want to sell some games, so fair enough. So yeah, anything else you'd like to say about Pokemon before we move on to some Red Coin releases?
Oh, I mean, the Presents was boring overall. I just thought that'd be worth mentioning. It's just the other stuff before the Violet Scarlet. Pretty standard stuff. Nothing too. I'm always hoping for something. A weird spin-off game. Like a pinball or
definitely, yeah.
Conquest, something new like that, but nothing. Sleep, nothing on Sleep. But we got some updates on Violet and Scarlet, so it's shaping up to be good. Excited for November.
Yeah, we can see what the Pokemon company doing. They're like, look, here's a game you're interested in, but before that, we're going to try and rope you into our mediocre mobile titles.
That's right. Tencent need more money, so please continue to support Pokemon Unite.
I mean, Pokemon Go, I enjoyed Pokemon Go. I've fallen off of it because their practices have gone a little bit lately. Just with
I've completely fallen off. I like 4 months ago it was only. So like for like 5 straight years, I was all over it. And
I was hardcore into Pokemon Go. Spent like $30 a month type of thing, and I got my money's worth. Like not every month, like every odd month. Yeah. Because I was enjoying it. I played it like every day, got my money's worth. But then they started taking away like certain bonuses they were doing each day and making it less fun to play the game, making distances a bit shorter. And
they made it less accessible, didn't they? But they introduce things for COVID and then they removed it after, which was sucky. Yeah,
because like the COVID things they introduced, like they just made the game more fun.
Because
like
especially for you where you live.
Yeah, in like rural, like I fell off Pokemon Go for years and years and years because I just could not play it. I could not play it here.
You had no chance to,
in the country. And I went to Melbourne one day, and I'm like, this is a lot of fun. And I took it home, and a few more Pokestops and a bit of a community popped up in town, so I got into it more. And when COVID come, like they sort of made like remote raid passes and all that. And when it comes to like raid hours, so it was like it goes from 6 to 7 on Wednesdays. Typically, like sometimes I'd have to leave my house and go like sit in my car and like do these raids with people, and it's not ideal. I don't want to spend that time away from my partner. She doesn't play Pokemon Go, so she won't be joining me to do that.
Yeah.
But when it was raid passes, I was like, yeah, it's great. But now it's sort of like it's not as accessible because you used to get a few free raid passes each week. So that was great. But now they sort of stripped that back and made the distances a bit further away, so you can't actually do it from as far. And I don't know, they just made it less fun. So I'm like, oh well, don't worry about it. But
I'd really like to understand why, because I just thought that's just a cool thing to keep people playing. So keep it in. But they've tried to monetize it by the sounds of it.
yeah, no, they want people to go out and mingle so other people can physically see you playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
like it's a bit like Street Pass. Like it's a good reason to just get your 3DS out there so other people go, "Well, you got a 3DS, cool. That looks like fun. I'll buy that."
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
because
it was great doing those community hours on the Wednesday, 6 o'clock in the city, because I'd finished work and
yeah,
the
great for you.
legendaries there, and there's just like 20 people. Like we're all like sussly, like you're playing Pokemon Go, and so we're just like randomly standing in Rundle Mall. People are walking past. I'm just in the corner there. Just don't look at me. I'm just swirling, trying to catch this Lugia or something.
Yeah.
And of course, so many legendaries doing that. Yeah, so much better in the city. So much better.
Yeah, I know. I'm very jealous. Like every now and again when I went up there, I was up there one year for AvCon, and after AvCon, I was by myself. I can't remember why I was by myself. Was I up there by myself that year? I think I was. Yeah, went by myself. I think a friend went with me one day, and the other days I just did my own thing. I filled in the day. I was still in the podcast at the time, so I was doing something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm in the city. I'll play Pokemon Go because I didn't have a car, so I was waiting for someone to come pick me up, and I was running up and down Rundle Mall just looking for an Arcanine. I think I saw an Arcanine.
Yep.
Like, where's that? So
Just
I looked on Apple Maps, like where is it? Like there it is. So like you go and track it down. It was so much fun. Yeah.
Pokemon Go was like back in the day as well. Just awesome fun when everyone was playing it. Like 2016, everyone, like people like at work, just like I never thought would play it, were downloading it, and there was like those apps where you could see where the Pokemon were located on the stops. Yeah. We'd go to a place near one of Adelaide's beaches, and so many people would be there, and then it'd be like a massive Dratini spot, and so people would be there trying to get there. But there was one Pokemon stop on the beach area. A Dratini appears, everyone rushes to it, and it's just chaos. I just like 100 people like running towards it. I even saw a bike try to go there on his bicycle, and he fully stacks it on the sand because bikes on sand don't work. There's a time and a place. It's just people are crazy for it. So I know another fond memory of
like
Nintendo gaming.
My town, very small, about 5,000 people. And Pokemon Go, like at night time, where it was usually dead quiet, there were cars going up and the town was still alive, and you could tell people were playing Pokemon Go because you open the website and there was like a particular place, like, oh my God, there's a Vulpix. Never saw a Vulpix in Pokemon Go before. All these cars are heading out, like, we're all in this Facebook group together, like there's a Vulpix, at this area. And there's a convoy going out to this area. We all get out, like, there it is. And it was unreal, man. Like my whole soccer team, people that have never owned a Nintendo console or into Pokemon, all playing this. Like it blew me away, yeah. But like in 2022, I think I hope they sort of heal what they've done to their community. They've upset a few people, I think.
And it's not good.
Yeah,
but it seems to be doing really well still. It's
yeah, definitely.
One of the most profitable games, isn't it?
If they make a few changes, I'll be more than happy to go back to it. It's just they made it. I'm not even against it. They just sort of made it not that fun.
Yeah,
I think that's just the main problem I have. But oh well.
They're going to get to the stage where they've run out of Pokemon as well.
Yeah,
eventually.
Actually, what did you think of the part when they were doing the Pokemon Masters and they sort of they faked this? They didn't fake me out because I'm like, oh yeah, it's Pokemon Masters. But I saw like a few reactions from say like channels like Kinda Funny and that where they got the character running up the mountain. They say red, and was like, "Oh my God, what is this? This is like some awesome side game." But it's like, I'm like, it's just Pokemon Masters, man, and it was.
I didn't. It got me, and so I got.
It did, yeah. I'm just like
excited.
I'm like, this is all just mobile stuff. Like, don't worry about it, guys. Just close your eyes until they say Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Masters, and so it got me, and I'm like, oh, it's red, and then nothing, and so I was a bit disappointed. So it's just a tone. It was a standard one. It was nothing special. So
yeah.
Oh,
all right, let's move on to the Red Coin releases and talk about some games that came out to the eShop this week. Alrighty, so the first game is Hindsight from Annapurna Interactive, and the little blurb on the eShop is, what if the physical objects of everyday life, the possessions we hold close, were actually windows to the past? Peer into distant memories and unseen futures in hindsight. From the creator of Prune, Hindsight is a narrative exploration game spanning the entirety of a woman's life, from birth to present day, as she tries to make all sense of it, relive her childhood home, sort through personal, let me expand here, sorry, belongings, and step through windows to memorize memories frozen in time. So get that for $20 on the Australian eShop. And I'm really interested in getting this. I just got a few too many games on my plate, but this is on my wish list. Definitely interested in picking this up. I'm pretty intrigued actually. Like hindsight, I think we can all sort of relate to just looking back and go, oh, I should have done this, should have done that, and it's like just having like that through, someone's whole life. I reckon it's gonna be really interesting. A cool little game to play on Switch. It's I think it's a Switch console exclusive, and it's also on iOS and Android and devices like that. But pretty keen to pick this one up.
It's Annapurna as well.
Exactly. That's why it was at their showcase actually, which I actually probably should have brought up on the show actually. Very interesting showcase with some great games. Been playing a lot of the stuff from them with Stray and The Artful Escape. Really a big fan of Annapurna in recent times. So yeah, I'm keen to try this. Have you seen this game at all, Josh? Or
no, never seen it. So it looks like Untitled Goose Game with the graphics. And just that minimal sort of cell shaded look. Yeah, that's it. So it looks really good. Let's remind ourselves of all the things we've regretted in our lives. That'll be fun.
Good point. Did you have any you want to go through as well, or did you pick out any games?
I did. Where did I put the notes? I had them somewhere here. So there's lots of things on sale. I am a particular fan. I would recommend AAA Clock Platinum Edition.
Okay.
That is $288. Was $16.95.
All right. So what's this all about?
It's just a clock. Just a clock.
It's usually $17. Jesus Christ. Let's check.
Discount. It's now probably only slightly overpriced now at $288. It's 83% off.
I remember on the DSi store there was like a Mario themed clock you could get for a couple of bucks. At the time, very very novel concept, downloading software to your DS. But in these days, there's actually, I'm going through it now. There's like a lot of different faces you can get, digital or analog.
Very different faces.
That's right. There's one looks like a cool little Game Boy art styled game. I don't know.
There's PM and AM time. It's a fun time. If you want to, if you got a spare Switch like you do, Drew, and want to have it displaying the time somewhere, just be the one to get. 83% off. Get it while you can.
All right. Yeah. Next up is Frogun, which actually looks, it's actually a neat little platformer that caught my eye last week when it released. So you get it for $18. It's a little bit cheaper at the moment than just a little launch title. And Frogun is an old school platformer with the soul of the retro era. It had the word split, threw me off a bit. In which your frog-shaped grappling hook is your best friend. Join Retta as she adventures across the world of mystical ruins with her titlet Frogun. Frogun is an old school platform with the soul of the retro era, in which your frog-shaped gun grappling hook is your best friend. All right, just repeated that. Retra's parents are world-renowned explorers, archaeologists, and inventors that travel all over the world uncovering the secrets of the past, bringing her with them in their expeditions. However, in their latest adventure, they decide to leave her at base camp. The Beelzebub ruins are said to be too dangerous. For 3 whole days she waits, her pride hurt and bored her out of her mind, until she realized if they haven't returned yet, something must have happened to them. In a hurry, she grabs her parents' last invention, the Frogun, and heads to the ruins to rescue them and prove that she's capable as them. Jesus Christ. You got a jet going over your head or what?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I live near the airport ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been great with COVID, sorry, but now it's starting to get noisy again. I'm sorry, I've ruined Redcon releases.
No. It's just like I just finished. Went boom. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me at 5:45 in the morning every morning. Anyway,
So this game, it looks pretty cool. It's like a bit of an isometric platformer, and like the art style is actually really interesting. It's a harken back to maybe like even like PlayStation 1 games, similar to like Crash Bandicoot, with like a sort of a nice modern take on that type of art style. Very sharp edges, bright and colorful, running around, collecting coins, and using that grappling hook to do sort of platforming maneuvers to get through the level. I looked up I think it was a Game Explain review. I think they thought it was awesome, but I think some of the controls as far as the grappling lock on become an issue in sort of some harder levels. But something I want to check out. It's just, I've got a lot of my gaming plate. So, don't know.
is it on sale at release or is it?
Yeah, it's 20% off. So it's $4.50 off. So not a bad pickup if you're in the mood for a platformer. You want to support an indie dev. I think this is seems like a pretty interesting game. Did you have another one, Josh?
Is it just new releases or we can be anything on sale? Is that?
It can be whatever you want, man. Whatever you want. We got no rules here.
Oh, thank you. That's good. Let me change the method of the topic.
We brought up a few hentai games the other week that came to Switch.
You got Fire Emblem. You don't need them now.
Damn straight.
I saw on the eShop BioShock the collection. That's 80% off now. So that's cheap.
Oh, that's super cheap. Oh god,
$17.99. Yeah. So for all 3 games, that's cheap. So if you're going to get on the Switch, now's the time. I have great memories of playing that when it first came out, the first BioShock, at 2 a.m. in the morning on a Saturday night, and absolutely crapping my pants at the just how scary it was. I was probably 12, 13 playing this game. Love the second one. The third one's all right. So for $18 for 3 games, that is like 3 good games. Bargain.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
BioShock is a massive pile of shame game for me.
Really? Never touched it?
Yeah. No, I've touched it. My first non-Nintendo console was an Xbox 360, and BioShock was one of the ones I really wanted to play. But I did not have a HD TV. I had like a small hand-me-down TV from my granddad's place. I can't remember how big it was, but it wasn't very big. And playing those era games sort of made for HD TVs and SD, I couldn't read the text. I honestly couldn't. I couldn't see. I couldn't play it.
Yeah,
it was unplayable. So I never played much more than 2 hours, and Dang. I never really got back to it. But
yeah,
I bought it on Switch. Like BioShock, it's been on sale quite a bit on Switch. So I picked up BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite, and they are games like top of my backlog that I want to go back and play. I've got them downloaded on my Switch. So yeah, I definitely want to get these played. I've got them on PlayStation, Switch, and PC actually. Because PlayStation, it was on PlayStation Plus. Switch, I got it for like $13 for like each game.
Is it on Plus? Is it or like the Deluxe or?
Yeah, sorry, PlayStation. No, what was it? It was on PlayStation Plus at one point, like just
like Game of the Month or something.
Yeah, Game of the Month, and I think it's on Extra. I think it's on Extra, the collection. Oh no, it's Deluxe because
I feel it's Deluxe. Yeah,
it's technically a retro game because it's a PS3 game.
Yeah,
technically, as far as those things go. But yeah, I've got a lot of places to play it. I just got to play it. But
just do it. Yeah.
I was thinking like it's a little bit different to a lot of the games I want to play, which are a lot of like RPGs. So it might be a good game to sort of put in between.
It's got a bit of the RPG mechanic to it. With the
yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean. It's predominantly a first person.
It's not turn-based and that type of thing. Yeah.
Oh, playing it for the first time. Oh, I envy you. It's just a very
I think a lot of people are like what I listen talk about be like, oh, I wish I could just relive that. I'm like,
yeah,
that's me. I can relive it. Got to live it for the first time.
That's right.
And it was a great pick, Josh.
Thank you.
I've got a pick which I don't know much about, but it looks interesting to me. It looks a little bit similar to Hindsight. The game is South of the Circle. Get it for $17.55, 10% off. And the little blurb says on the eShop, embrace a virtually impactful and compelling a narrative experience featuring a cinematic story about true love and the desire to keep our promises. South of the Circle is an emotion. I think this just repeats it, but sorry. South of the Circle is an emotional narrative experience with a deep, multi-layered cinematic story. The main plot asks questions about the consequences of life choices, pursuing either career or love, maneuvering between now and the past. You play Peter, a Cambridge academic who crash lands in Cold War Antarctica. As he searches for help, his past unwinds before him, revealing how the pressures of power in his own aspirations have led him into the crisis he must somehow escape. A love story between him and a fellow academic Clara develops, and Peter learns the weight of all things he promised, like memories from childhood to some promises stay with us forever. So, yeah, I don't know. Just reading that made me even more interested in it, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks great. It's I'm very interested in this now. Thank you for bringing my attention to it. Okay, be good one to play with Michaela, I think.
Yeah, like I just like I love these experiences which they don't take your whole week. They don't take super long to get through, but I think a lot of them just really leave you with a just like a feeling of impact, especially since like when you're making the decisions yourself, it sort of just resonates a little bit more. So yeah, it's published by 11-Bit Studios as well, which is a name I haven't heard of before, but seems interesting. So I haven't played it, but it just from checking it out looks interesting. So,
yeah. It's 24% off as well if you've downloaded Beat Cop and Children of Mortar as well. So that's a
interesting.
Discount. So
I think I have
other games by
I have Children of Mortar, I think.
Do you? Okay, so 24% off for you then instead of 10.
Nice.
You have to get it now.
Oh, I'm obliged to.
Yeah, I'll wait. You can. I'll keep the show going.
Oh, all right. I'll see you. No. Yeah. So, was there another one you'd like to point out before we wrap this up, Josh? Or?
That was the main stuff. I am scared to keep looking because the more I look, the more other games I buy, and then I'll never play them.
Yeah.
So I'm always.
Because I think that's the main problem. Like,
yeah.
On the I like just keeping up with the eShop, seeing what's coming out because there's a lot of great stuff. Like for example, just with Hindsight, Throwgun, and South of the Circle, I think some really interesting looking releases. But just with the amount of crap that comes out each week, it's hard to see them. And I think like for me, where I check the eShop and just check out what's going on. But Vooks.net does a great job of compiling these each week. So go and check them out, support them. Check out Vooks.net and go to their articles with the Nintendo download updates, and they do a fantastic job of maybe like highlighting a couple of titles and just showing you the crap as well. Like just going through the list, like hentai. Why is there a hentai game? There's more hentai games on Switch than you'd like to know. Like and they just pop up and like, why?
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I thought of one. Right. It doesn't come out this week, but it comes out in a couple of weeks. This is an Adelaide-made game that is coming to the Switch. So, our good friend Alex Harding from Indie XP has given us. I think he gave you a code, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, and I've played a little bit of this, and so not a lot, but it's a platformer with lots of little levels. They take like 20 seconds to complete, maybe a minute if you want to collect everything. And I'm really enjoying it actually. So very early in, and I can tell it's going to get hard because there's so many levels. And it's going to get to a stage where it's just going to be so many things to avoid and dodge. But yeah, not out for another couple of weeks. But yeah, please check that out. Anyone else?
I haven't fired it up yet, but it seems very Meat Boy-esque, and I love Super Meat Boy. Yeah. So yeah, I'm keen to give it a go. My aim is to like get through it and talk about it when it releases, pretty much. So yeah, I'm keen for that. Especially like I think Alex does a great job of like highlighting local talent, and like for me, living a bit out of Adelaide, it's a little bit hard to keep up with it all. But whenever I go to AvCon, they have a section there called the Indie Games Room, and there's just so many talented, passionate people on our doorstep, which is awesome to see. And I
Yeah.
haven't personally been able to, go and talk to those types of people for like 3 years at this point, which is a little bit
Yep.
sad. But
Little while, yeah.
yeah, so like seeing like stuff like Riot coming out of Adelaide's just it's awesome. So I can't wait to give it a bit more of a go when I've got my good D-pad on my 8-bit Do controller ready to go.
Away you go, yeah. So you're right from Pond Games, so Adelaide developer.
Yeah. No, thanks for bringing that up. I'll be sure to talk about that on the show a bit later on as well.
Later on, yep.
Yeah. So I think that brings us to the end of the show, Josh. It's a nice long one. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure. This was good. Had a good time as always. Whenever I'm on the show with you, Drew.
Had a good time in the house, Mario. Not hospitable enough for you.
Yeah, this is the pure stuff. So I'm hooked to this. So Drew, give me the main stuff going forward. But no, I've loved being with you on the Encore, and then our monthly Patreon exclusive heaps good as well. So no, just enjoying collaborating with you, Drew.
Yeah, it's always a great opportunity to have a chat with you. And was it Monday night? Got you for 2.5 hours. You're like, fucking hell, how long do I have to talk to this chump for?
No. This is no, I chose this life, and I don't regret it.
I chose this life. Nah, fair enough. Yeah, embrace it, my friend. So, people have been listening for a long time at this point, 2.5 hours, Jesus Christ. But they like Josh. They want more of him. They want to know where they can go and check out his podcast, NintenVania, and all of that stuff. Another South Australian Nintendo podcast to add to your repertoire. So, Josh, where can they find that? And what do you typically talk about on NintenVania?
Yeah, so NintenVania is very similar to your show. I do it fortnightly, so not as frequently. But yeah, talk about all the latest news, what we're playing, topical things every now and then. I'm on all good streaming services for your music, so Spotify, Apple Music, and so forth. Just had Oliver Brandt from Vooks on my latest episode. He's the deputy editor of the website. And yeah, it's just talked about his big review of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And so a lot of work goes into reviewing games, but JRPG as well brings extra time constraints. And sort of, yeah, we just sort of talked about what's required to do those sorts of reviews, and just sort of the general landscape to sort of write reviews and publish them for gaming in Australia as well. So feel free to check it out. Any support most appreciated. Again, thanks for having me, Drew.
Yeah, no worries. And I listened to the episode today. Very interesting. And it'd be a nightmare being on a time constraint trying to finish Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, it'd be crazy. Luckily, he said he got given plenty of time, but there's been definitely occasions where that's not the case, and you got to weigh up sleep or playing a game to review it in time.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'll stick to podcasting, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Everybody, thank you very much for listening to episode 230 of The House of Mario. Be sure to go and check out NintenVania, even if it's just a favour for old Drewy. Go and check out NintenVania, please.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just go and check it out. That's all you need to know. And until next time, guys, the doors to The House of Mario, they're closed. Get out of here, Josh. Time to go home.
Yeah, bedtime.